Chapter 4450. Master. Ha ha ha. It's Master. The third demon's sword laughed loudly. The third demon's sword had regrown its body, but its aura was still very weak. Sword Ancestor, Long Fan and the other reciprocity experts of the Heaven Destroyer were excited. On the other hand, those from the Heavenly Palace looked fearful. Even old monsters like Yechu Zhangyang and Yechu Zhengmia were the same. It was an instinctive reaction. It's just a strand of aura. Today, I'll completely obliterate it. Yechu Zhengmia roared as if he was cheering himself on. Then, he controlled the Sky Destroyer spear with all his might and attacked the Azure Edge sword again. Beside the Azure Edge sword, the figure grabbed the sword and slashed out. The slash seemed very ordinary. When it slashed through the air, it was only a flash of light that was several dozen meters long. It landed on the Sky Destroyer spear. Clang! A shocking sound rang out. Then, Yechu Zhengmia's expression changed drastically. His eyes were filled with shock and disbelief. This was because he felt an extremely powerful force pass through the Sky Destroyer spear and blast toward him. Next, the Sky Destroyer spear collided with his body. He spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was pale as he retreated rapidly. Spurt! 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 As he retreated, blood spurted out of his body. Wounds appeared one after another. These wounds were all sword wounds. They had almost cut him into pieces. He was heavily injured and his aura was weak. How is this possible? The other experts of the Heavenly Palace were also shocked. They were in disbelief. Yechu Zhengmia, who was at late reciprocity, had been heavily injured by a single slash. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would have found it hard to believe. If the taboo sword ancestor had come in person, it would have made sense. However, this was only a strand of his aura. It could not even be considered a clone or a clone. This was just too unbelievable. It was just too shocking. Just what level of cultivation was the taboo sword ancestor at? Not only were the people of the Heavenly Palace dumbfounded, but Lu Ming and the others were also dumbfounded. Even Xian Yanqing's eyes were filled with disbelief. Just what level of cultivation is he at now? Xian Yanqing muttered to himself. Master, ha ha ha, Master is indeed invincible. After the third demon's sword trembled, it burst into laughter. At this moment, the illusory figure holding the Qingfeng sword appeared again. With a flash, he appeared in front of Yechu Zhengmia and slashed down with his sword. Not good. Yechu Zhengmia was shocked and retreated frantically. At the same time, he activated the Sky Extermination Spear with all his might, hoping to block his opponent's attack. Clang! Another earth-shattering explosion rang out. This time, Yechu Zhengmia was in an even worse state. He couldn't even hold onto the Sky Extermination Spear. The Sky Extermination Spear flew out while his body kept exploding. In the end, just like the third demon's sword, only his head was left. He barely managed to keep his life. He used his remaining strength to protect his head and frantically retreated. Not good. Retreat. Retreat together and control the Sky Extermination Spear. Seeing this, Celestial Chef Zhang Yang roared. Then, he exchanged a palm with Fei Huang. Borrowing the power of that palm, he instantly retreated. His figure flashed again, and he appeared beside Yechu Zhengmia's head. A wave of energy protected Yechu Zhengmia's head as he brought it toward the Sky Extermination Spear. Kill! The illusory figure spoke for the first time. He took a step forward and charged toward Yechu Zhangyang and Yechu Zhengmia faster than teleportation. A terrifying sword light slashed toward them. Ah! Heavenly Master, save me! Yechu Zhangyang screamed in horror. Bas! The Sky Extermination Spear vibrated on its own as if it had awakened. Then, a figure appeared beside the Sky Extermination Spear. This figure was much clearer than the one beside the Qingfeng sword. Her face could be seen clearly. It was a woman. Her long golden hair was tied up in a bun. Her figure was invincible, and her beauty was unparalleled. She was an extremely beautiful woman from the heavenly human tribe. She looked to be about 30 years old and had a mature charm. Even so, it was clear that this was not her real body. She stretched out a jade-like hand and gently grabbed the Sky Extermination Spear in her hand. Boom! In the next moment, a terrifying aura rushed out of the Sky Extermination Spear. Heavenly Master! Heavenly Master of Illusion! Yechu Zhangyang, Yechu Zhengmia, and the others shouted in surprise when they saw this figure. What? It's the Heavenly Master of Illusion. Lu Ming and the others were shocked. Heavenly Master was not a cultivation realm. It was just a title. It was a title for the Master of the Heavenly Palace. The Master of each Heavenly Palace was called a Heavenly Master. Now, there were 5 Heavenly Palace, which meant that there were 5 Heavenly Masters. The woman in front of them was called the Heavenly Master of Illusion. It was obvious that she was the Master of the Illusion Heavenly Palace. Even a Heavenly Master had moved out, although this was not her real body. The Heavenly Master of Illusion held the Sky Extermination Spear in her hand. In a flash, she appeared in front of Yechu Zhangyang and swept out with the Sky Extermination Spear. Clang! The Sky Extermination Spear and the Azure Edge Sword clashed, and then the 2 weapons were both pushed back. So, the Heavenly Master of Illusion left her mark on the Sky Extermination Spear long ago. Fei Huang's figure appeared not far from the Azure Edge Sword as her cold voice rang out. When the Heavenly Master descends, destroy the great enemy. Yechu Zhangyang shouted. Destroy the great enemy. The other experts of the Heavenly Palace gathered behind Yechu Zhangyang and shouted, Retreat! However, the Heavenly Master of Illusion only said one word. This stunned Yechu Zhangyang, Yechu Zhengmia, and the others. What did the Heavenly Master of Illusion say? She wanted to retreat? The Heavenly Master of Illusion had mobilized a wisp of her mark, which contained more power than a wisp of energy. Moreover, she controlled the Sky Extermination Spear. As for Tang Feng, he only had a wisp of energy and an ordinary Azure Edge Sword. The Heavenly Master of Illusion wanted to retreat? Retreat! The Heavenly Master of Illusion said the word retreat again, full of unquestionable meaning. This was an order. They could not refuse the order of a Heavenly Master. Retreat! Go! Yechu Zhangyang and the others roared, gathered together, and retreated. When they retreated to the side of the other heavenly humans, such as Yechu Qiuxian and the others, they used a powerful force to envelop these people and brought them away, breaking through the air and leaving this place in the blink of an eye. The Heavenly Master of Illusion, holding the Sky Retribution Spear, stood there from beginning to end, clearly wanting to block the pursuit of the Azure Edge Sword, Fei Huang, and the others. Tang Feng's phantom did not move, allowing the people of the heavenly humans to leave. Let's go, let's go. Let's go. The experts of the other races did not dare to stay, and brought their own people to break through the air and leave. Ling Yue also left with the elders of the elf race. When she left, she looked at Fei Huang with a complicated expression. As for Dark Knight Rose, Di Jenny, Yin Jioling, and the others, they had already left quietly when the 2 sides were fighting. Chapter 44-51. After all the people of the heavenly human tribe left, the figure of the heavenly Lord of Illusion dissipated, turning into a ray of light and entering the Sky Extermination Spear. Then, the Sky Extermination Spear shattered the void with a swoosh and disappeared without a trace. In the blink of an eye, only Fei Huang and the others were left in this universe. Master. Disciple greets Master. I haven't seen you for many years. I really missed you. The 3rd demon sword flew to the front of Tang Feng's phantom and kowtowed. No need to be so polite. It's good that you can escape, but you have to work hard in the future. Back then, among the 3 of you, you and the Heavenly Sword were the most talented. But now, your 2nd senior brother's cultivation is about to surpass yours. Tang Feng's phantom spoke. His voice was clear, like the voice of a young man. Haha, it's nothing to be surpassed by 2nd senior brother, but I will definitely work hard. The 3rd demon sword smiled cheekily. At this time, Tang Feng's phantom seemed to look at Fei Huang. To be precise, he was looking at Xian Yanqing in the lotus. 2 bright rays of light burst out from his blurry face, even brighter than the sword light. Xian Yanqing's delicate body trembled, and her breathing was a little rapid. Obviously, she was a little excited. After all, this was her father in her previous life. Although her personality and thoughts were based on this life, she had awakened all the memories of her previous life. How could she not have feelings for this father of her previous life? How could she remain calm when the past was vivid in her mind? His gaze stopped on Xian Yanqing for a while, and then fell on Lu Ming. Good, very good. Tang Feng's phantom nodded and said a few words. It was unknown whether he said good for Xian Yanqing's return or for recognizing Lu Ming. After a pause, his voice continued. All of you have to speed up your cultivation and improve your strength. Catch up with your strength as soon as possible. In the near future, We will have a great battle. It will be incomparably difficult. Remember, speaking until here, Tang Feng's figure became more and more blurred until it disappeared. Clang! The Qing Feng sword let out a sword cry and returned to the second divine sword's back. There will be a great battle? Could it be that in the near future, we will have a decisive battle with the Heavenly Palace? Lu Ming's heart stirred as he pondered Tang Feng's words. Go! At this moment, Fei Huang lightly shouted. Everyone turned into rays of light and disappeared in a flash. Not long after, they returned to the base of the universe ruins. 3 days later, in a quiet courtyard, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Autumn Moon, Myriad God, and the others were gathered together. They chatted as they drank and tasted delicacies. They talked about what they had learned and what they had experienced during this period of time. Suddenly, the expression of Lu Ming, who was drinking, changed. His body glowed, and a ray of light rushed out from his body. It was a broken stone. A fragment of the Life Spirit Vitality Stone. All these years, the fragment of the Natal Spirit Stone had been quietly kept by Lu Ming without any abnormalities. Now, why had it suddenly flown out? This is the fragment of the Natal Spirit Stone? Xian Yanqing exclaimed softly. He recognized the fragment of the Natal Spirit Stone at a glance. Myriad God, Autumn Moon, and the others also looked at the fragment of the Natal Spirit Stone. They had heard of the legend of the fragment of the Natal Spirit Stone, but this was the first time they had seen the real thing. Bas! At this moment, the fragment of the Natal Spirit Stone vibrated violently and suddenly broke through the air, flying rapidly towards a place. Lu Ming's expression changed. He said, "Wait for me. I'll be back soon." After saying that, he rushed into the sky and chased after the fragment of the Natal Spirit Stone. This is not simple. I'll go take a look, Xian Yanqing said. After saying that, he also chased after him. Sister Yanqing, wait for me. Autumn Moon followed closely behind. Don't follow me. I'll go take a look, Myriad God said to the others. After saying that, he also rushed into the sky and chased after Lu Ming and the others. At the front, the fragment of the Natal Spirit Stone was still flying. It was like a meteor that flew across the universe at an extremely fast speed. Lu Ming used all his strength but was unable to catch up. Furthermore, he constantly tried to control the fragment of the Natal Spirit Stone but failed. He tried to communicate with the stone spirit in the Natal Spirit Stone, but the stone spirit did not respond at all. What's going on? Lu Ming frowned. He slowed down slightly, planning to ask Xian Yanqing and the others when they caught up. Xian Yanqing had the memories of his previous life and was knowledgeable. He might know something. Furthermore, the fragment of the Natal Spirit Stone had recognized him as its master. As long as he was not too far away, he could still sense it. However, what surprised Lu Ming was that when he slowed down, the fragment of the Natal Spirit Stone slowed down as well. This left Lu Ming even more surprised. Soon, Xian Yanqing, Autumn Moon, and Myriad God caught up. Lu Ming voiced his doubts. Autumn Moon and Myriad God were dumbfounded. As for Xian Yanqing, he was frowning in thought. Did the fragment of the Natal Spirit Stone sense something and want to bring you over? Xian Yanqing said. Sense what? Could it be a treasure of another Natal Spirit Hall or the Natal Spirit Heavenly Court? But if that's the case, the stone spirit in the Natal Spirit Stone should have reacted. Lu Ming said. With his understanding of the Natal Spirit Stone, if it really sensed a treasure of another Natal Spirit Hall or the Natal Spirit Heavenly Court, it would have made a fuss. But now, there was no reaction from the Natal Spirit Stone. Something was clearly amiss. Did it sense some kind of summoning? Xian Yanqing exclaimed softly. Some kind of summoning? Lu Ming was also alarmed. It's hard to say now. Let's follow and take a look. We'll know. The Natal Spirit Heavenly Court is of great importance. The master of the Natal Spirit Heavenly Court is the most ancient and powerful taboo. We can't miss it, Xian Yanqing said. There might be other taboo bodies before the master of the Natal Spirit Heavenly Court, but those that didn't achieve great success didn't leave their names in history and were extinguished like meteors. There were only 4 most powerful taboo bodies in history. The master of the Natal Spirit Heavenly Court, the master of the Primordial Divine Court, Tang Feng, and Fei Huang. And the master of the Natal Spirit Heavenly Court was the most ancient of the 4 taboo bodies. This ancient existence had left behind too many legends. When the Natal Spirit Heavenly Court rose, it was also when the Heavenly Palace was at its peak. The 9 heavenly palaces dominated the universe. No faction dared to compete with the heavenly palace. But the Natal Spirit Heavenly Court dared to do so, and it caused great losses to the heavenly palace at its peak. It was obvious how powerful the master of the Natal Spirit Heavenly Court was. Legend had it that the Natal Spirit Heavenly Court had 4 treasures and 18 divine weapons. The Bingxian rod in Lu Ming's hand was one of the 18 divine weapons. It was powerful and mysterious. Not to mention the 4 treasures. The natal spirit stone fragment was one of the 4 treasures. Now that there was something wrong with the natal spirit stone fragment, they naturally had to find out. There might be a great opportunity. Chapter 44-52. The Life Spirit Origin Stone Fragment maintained the same speed as Lu Ming and the others as it continued to fly. When Lu Ming and the others sped up, the Life Spirit Origin Stone Fragment sped up. When Lu Ming and the others slowed down, the Life Spirit Origin Stone Fragment slowed down. The Life Spirit Origin Stone Fragment seems to be flying towards the universe ruins. Lu Ming said. That's right. It has indeed been flying in the universe ruins. It seems that the Life Spirit Origin Stone Fragment is heading to the universe ruins. Xian Yanqing said. Their expressions were grave, but they were not afraid. The universe ruins were very dangerous. Other than the outer regions, the other regions required the strength of an almighty to explore. However, Lu Ming and the others were no longer the same as before. Now, the 4 of them were all 9th-level divine emperors, and their battle strength was extremely powerful. The weakest among them, Autumn Moon, had a battle strength of 11 stars. They could definitely fight an ordinary almighty. As for Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and Wan Shen, their combat power was even stronger. Their battle strength was comparable to that of an almighty. They could easily explore the universe ruins. Moreover, looking at the trajectory of the Life Spirit Origin Stone Fragment, it did not seem to be deep into the universe ruins. This flight lasted for 7 days. On this day, a foggy area appeared in front of them. In the quiet void, a foggy area appeared. It was vast and blocked one's vision. It was impossible to see what was in the foggy area. The expressions of Lu Ming and the others changed slightly. In the universe ruins, they should not venture into such unpredictable and strange places. It usually represented danger. However, the Life Spirit Origin Stone Fragment flew straight in. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Autumn Moon, and Wan Shen's expressions changed slightly. However, they did not hesitate and rushed in after the Life Spirit Origin Stone Fragment. As soon as they rushed into the foggy area, their vision was severely obstructed. They could only see within 100 meters. This was very shocking. It should be known that at the level of Lu Ming and the others, their eyesight was too strong. It was not a problem for them to see from one end of a star field to the other, as long as there was nothing in the way. But now, he could only see things 100 meters away. It was really shocking. His eyesight had been weakened many times. The 4 of them became even more cautious as they flew together. Because in such a place, once they were separated, it would be very troublesome and they would not be able to find each other. Fortunately, the natal spirit stone shard gave off a hazy light, like a guiding light. Even from a distance it could be seen. Otherwise, they would have lost track of the natal spirit stone fragments long ago. They followed the vitality stone shard and kept flying. It was hard to tell which direction they were going, and they had no idea how far they had flown. Soon, they had been flying in the foggy area for more than a day. Be careful, something is approaching, Lu Ming suddenly said. Because just now, he suddenly felt a sense of danger, and all the hair on his body stood on end. In fact, even without Lu Ming's reminder, Xian Yanqing, Autumn Moon, and Myriad God had sensed it. They were all top-notch geniuses in the universe. Their spiritual senses were extremely sharp, and they weren't any worse than Lu Ming's. When Lu Ming sensed it, they sensed it too. The 4 of them leaned against each other and scanned the surroundings with their spiritual senses. However, in this foggy area, his spiritual sense was also greatly restricted. It was not much better than his eyesight, and could only extend to a distance of a few hundred meters. Creak, creak, creak. Within the fog, sharp sounds came from all directions. It was as if countless terrifying creatures were charging towards Lu Ming's group, surrounding them. There were more and more sharp sounds, and they were getting closer and closer. Then, Lu Ming and the others saw streaks of red light shining out. Balls of red light, like lanterns, were incomparably scarlet. These balls of scarlet light were the eyes, the light emitted by the eyes. There were at least a few hundred pairs of eyes. Be careful. Suddenly, Lu Ming shouted. This was because these scarlet lights were charging towards Lu Ming's group at an extremely fast speed. Lu Ming's group of 4 unleashed their strength, forming layers of defenses around them. At the same time, they circulated their spiritual senses and eyesight to the maximum, observing their surroundings. The scarlet lights were approaching Lu Ming's group at an extremely fast speed. Closer, closer. Finally, Lu Ming's group saw the appearance of these creatures. They were a strange kind of creature. They were humanoid, but their appearance was ferocious, like a malicious spirit. Their bodies were not made of flesh and blood. They looked very illusory, and like the color of the fog, they looked like ghosts. Only their eyes were bloodshot and filled with terrifying murderous intent. For the time being, they would call these creatures the fog spirits. A few of the fog spirits rushed to the front and were already approaching Lu Ming's group. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. They stretched out their sharp claws and clawed at Lu Ming's group. Their speed was extremely fast and filled with cold intent. One of the claws grabbed at Lu Ming's neck. Lu Ming's palm was like a knife, and he slashed out, slashing at the opponent's claws. When his palm slashed out, the void exploded, and the fog rolled. The fog spirit also exploded with a bang. 9th layer Divine God Realm. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Lu Ming sensed that the fog spirit's strength was only at the 9th layer of the Divine God Realm. He immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Although their cultivation was also at the 9th layer of the Divine God Realm, their battle strength was many times stronger than that. Although there were many of these fog spirits, if they were only at the 9th layer of the Divine God Realm, they were nothing in their eyes. On the other side, Xian Yanqing, Autumn Moon, and Wan Shen had also defeated a fog spirit. However, more and more mist spirits were charging at them from all directions. Kill! Kill! Lu Ming and the other 3's eyes flashed with murderous intent as they attacked. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. With a shake of the spear, hundreds of spear lights shot out. Xian Yanqing shouted and waved his hand. Hundreds of black lotuses appeared and flew out. The petals of the lotuses opened and turned into sharp blades. The lotuses spun rapidly, and each lotus turned into a great killing weapon. Autumn Moon activated the 9 orifices' sacred heart. 9 divine lights filled the air and turned into 9 scimitars that flew out. Each scimitar slashed down, and a fog spirit was killed. Ordinary cultivators of the 9th layer of the Divine God Realm would be killed instantly when facing them. God power surged as the pantheon of gods unleashed a dozen or so essence secret magics, destroying large swaths of the misty specters. Hundreds of fog spirits seemed like a lot, but in a short while, they were all killed. They turned into clouds of fog and disappeared without a trace. After killing all the fog spirits, they realized that the life spirit vitality stone fragment hadn't left. It was still in the distance, emitting a dim light. Lu Ming and the other 3 quickly flew towards the life spirit vitality stone fragment. When Lu Ming and the others moved, the life spirit vitality stone fragment also moved. It continued to fly at the same speed as Lu Ming and the others. Chapter 44-53. However, Lu Ming and the others became more cautious. They paid attention to their surroundings and took precautions. After all, this foggy area was in the ruins of the universe. No one knew what dangers there were. Although the previous foggy spirits were all at the 9th layer of the Great God Realm, no one knew if there would be Divine Master Foggy Spirits later on. If there were Divine Master Foggy Spirits and they launched a sudden attack, it would be a great threat to them. However, Lu Ming and the others worried too much. This was because they didn't run into any Divine Master Realm Mist Specters in the later part of their journey. In the next few days, they encountered a few more waves of foggy spirits, but they were all at the 9th layer of the Great God Realm. Lu Ming and the others defeated them easily. Just like that, they followed the Life Spirit Stone fragment and flew in the foggy area for 5 days. After 5 days, they finally passed through the foggy area and came to a void. This was a void surrounded by fog. It could be the center of the foggy area. There was fog everywhere. However, this region was the only place where there was no fog. Then their eyes widened and they looked ahead. An ancient city. There was an ancient city floating in the void ahead. The ancient city emitted a hazy light, illuminating the void and making it look less dark. Could it be that this area was not shrouded by fog because of this ancient city? The 4 of them were shocked. However, They didn't have time to think too much because the life spirit stone fragment was flying toward the ancient city at an extremely fast speed. Lu Ming and the others quickly chased after it. Lu Ming didn't plan to use the greater teleportation technique to intercept the life spirit stone fragment because he had used it before and it was useless. After using the greater teleportation technique, he always appeared behind the life spirit stone fragment. They were getting closer and closer to the ancient city. Gradually, they could see the outline of the ancient city. It looked very ancient. The ancient city walls were covered with sword marks as if it had been through a fierce battle. Also, it was huge and vast. The closer they got to the ancient city, the more they felt the vastness of the ancient city. They couldn't see it from afar, but it was amazing up close. The planets in the universe were considered huge. However, compared to this ancient city, the difference was too great. Lu Ming felt that this ancient city was even larger than the home planet of the dragons. An ancient city was actually larger than a mother planet. It was truly shocking. Whoosh! After the fragment arrived, it emitted a dazzling light and flew into a huge city gate. There were city gates all around the ancient city. The city gate in their direction should be closed, but it was damaged. There was a huge hole in it, as if it had been blasted open by a punch. It was through this hole that the natal spirit shard had flown in. Lu Ming and the other three looked at each other, then nodded and flew into the city through the hole in the city gate. So many buildings. Arriving at the city, Zhang Xian looked around and saw countless buildings. These buildings were all incomparably tall. Buildings over 1,000 zhang tall could be seen everywhere. Many of the buildings had collapsed. Within the city, it was deathly silent. There was not a single sound, nor was there a single living being. Apart from Lu Ming and the other three, there was nothing else. However, one could speculate that this ancient city must have been extremely prosperous in the past. Young master, the natal spirit shard has stopped, Xueqi said. When the natal spirit shard entered the city, it stopped flying and stopped there. No matter how close Lu Ming and the others were, the natal spirit shard did not move. Swoosh! Lu Ming's figure flashed and appeared beside the natal spirit shard. He reached out and grabbed the natal spirit shard in his hand. It was so easy that Lu Ming was surprised. It seems that the purpose of the natal spirit shard is to lure you here, Xian Yanqing said. Could this place be related to the heavenly court? Wan Shen guessed. It's very likely that the natal spirit shard is a treasure of the heavenly court. If it wasn't related to the heavenly court, the natal spirit shard wouldn't have flown here on its own, Lu Ming said. As Lu Ming spoke, there were changes to the life soul essence stone fragments in his hands. On the natal spirit shard, there was a layer of light, and then an old figure appeared. It was the natal spirit shard. Lu Ming was elated. There was finally a reaction from his life soul, the stone spirit. Lu Ming grabbed the rock spirit of the life soul essence stone. Let go of me. The natal spirit shard immediately screamed and struggled. Old man, you're finally out. I kept summoning you. Why didn't you respond at all? Lu Ming asked with an unfriendly look. He was very unhappy. I'm innocent. You can't blame me. I was sealed by a force and couldn't come out even if I wanted to. It was the natal spirit shard's own power that reacted. It wasn't until I came here that the power that sealed me disappeared. Look, I came out immediately. The natal spirit shard hurriedly explained. Then what is this place? Do you know? Lu Ming asked. Ha ha ha, of course I know. How could I not know where this place is? I didn't expect that after so many years, I would be able to return here. Ha ha ha. The natal spirit shard laughed crazily. Bam! Lu Ming's palm pressed down. Lu Ming's power was taboo. Even though the rock spirit was not made of flesh and blood, it was still sent spinning in the air by the slap. Don't go crazy here. Answer the question. Lu Ming said unhappily. You're pissing me off. The life soul, the stone spirit, glared at Lu Ming. When it saw Lu Ming raise his hand again, it was immediately discouraged and said, Don't do it. I'll talk. This is the heavenly court. This is the heavenly court. Lu Ming and company were shocked. That's right. This is the real heavenly court. It's not the life spirit palace, but the real heavenly court. Back then, the core of the heavenly court was here. The master of the heavenly court also lived here. The natal spirit shard said. This time, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Autumn Moon, and Wan Shen were really shocked. This was the life spirit heavenly court. Lu Ming originally thought that this was one of the 9 life spirit palaces. He never expected that they would come directly to the heavenly court. Legend had it that after the heavenly court was destroyed by the heavenly palace, the real heavenly court disappeared. Over the years, countless people had searched for the heavenly court, but to no avail. They only knew that through the natal spirit shard, one could find the 9 life spirit palaces. Legend had it that the master of the life spirit heavenly court had been buried in the life spirit heavenly court. There were 3 other treasures buried with the master of the life spirit heavenly court. Chapter 44-54. The life spirit was one of the 18 divine weapons of the celestial court. They were already considered top treasures in the universe. How precious and mysterious would the 3 treasures be? For countless years, countless people had been tempted by the life spirit celestial court's treasures. Countless people had searched for them, but unfortunately, there was no clue. In history, it was not that no one had obtained fragments of the life spirit stone, but they had no clue about the life spirit celestial court. But this time, the fragments of the life spirit stone would bring Lu Ming and the others to the real life spirit celestial court? What was going on? Could it be that something had happened in the life spirit celestial court? Or was the life spirit celestial court's treasures about to be born? The heartbeats of the 4 of them could not help but accelerate. Could it really be a great opportunity? Are you familiar with the life spirit celestial court? Lead the way. If you can find the life spirit celestial court's treasures, I promise you that I will find more fragments of the life spirit celestial court for you to fuse with, and try my best to restore you. Lu Ming said, making threats and promises. However, the life spirit stone immediately cried and said, "You know that I'm just a fragment, and I know very little. I can only instinctively feel that this is the life spirit celestial court, but I don't have any more specific memories. I'm afraid I can't lead the way." Lu Ming was speechless. In the end, Lu Ming could only put away the fragments of the life spirit stone and discuss with Xian Yanqing and the others. In the end, everyone decided to explore. Countless people had searched for the life spirit celestial court but could not find it. And they had come here by chance, so how could they not explore? If they left just like that, they might have inner demons in their hearts. After some discussion, the 4 of them began to move. They were going to explore some of the nearby buildings to see if there were any treasures left inside. Although the life spirit celestial court had been destroyed a long time ago, many treasures would have decayed under the erosion of time. However, some of the top treasures could resist the erosion of time. Such treasures, once found, were priceless. Soon, the 4 of them came to a huge building. The building seemed to be in good condition and hadn't been damaged. However, the 4 of them were still very cautious. They covered their bodies with energy and were ready to fight at any time. After all, this was the life spirit heavenly court. Although it looked dead silent, no one could guarantee that there would be any terrifying danger. It was better to be careful. They extended their spiritual senses into the building and found no signs of life. Then, the 4 figures flashed and rushed into the building. The building was huge, but there was nothing in it. There was no danger, and there were no treasures either. There was only some dust, which seemed to be the result of something corroding. He looked around but didn't see anything. The 4 of them left the building and entered other buildings to search. After checking 7 or 8 huge buildings, he still didn't find anything. Is it really a dead city? The myriad deities whispered. There was no danger, nor were there any living creatures. If this was not a ghost town, then what was it? Let's go to the depths of the life spirit heavenly court to take a look. This ancient city is too big. This is only the edge. If there are any treasures, they must be in the depths, Lu Ming said. The other 3 naturally did not have any objections. After that, the 4 of them stopped checking the buildings. Instead, they soared into the sky and flew into the depths. They found that they could fly in the city, but there was a pressure that suppressed them. They could only fly at a low altitude, and it was difficult for them to rush into the sky. Perhaps the life spirit heavenly court was shrouded by some kind of restriction. That was why the life spirit primordial stone fragment had entered through the city gate, and not directly from the ancient city's sky. Without any danger, the 4 of them relaxed a little and sped up a lot. They left a large number of buildings behind, and the distance of hundreds of millions of miles passed in a flash. Suddenly, "Be careful!" Lu Ming shouted. A force spread out and blocked Xian Yanqing, Qiu Yu, and Wan Shen. The 4 figures suddenly came to a stop. Swoosh! Below them, For streaks of sharp sword gleam slashed toward Lu Ming and the other three. Lu Ming took a step forward, and a powerful force exploded. He blasted downward and collided with the four sword lights. Boom, 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 boom. The four sword lights collapsed. It's only the 9th level of the divine god realm. No, this is the power of heaven? Lu Ming's face suddenly changed. The power contained within those four sword lights was actually the power of the heavens. Could there be a heavenly human tribe here? Soon, Lu Ming's guess was confirmed. Below them, a few figures dashed out from the destroyed building. There were 6 figures in total, and they rushed into the sky and surrounded Lu Ming and the other three. They were 6 old men. Their faces were full of wrinkles, and their golden hair had lost its luster. However, Lu Ming and the other three could still tell that they were from the heavenly human tribe. The 6 heavenly human tribe members should be from the older generation. How could there be 6 old heavenly human tribe members here? Could they be from the heavenly human tribe that fought against the life spirit heavenly court? Impossible. The 4 of them quickly dismissed this idea. They could already tell that the 6 old men from the heavenly human tribe were only at the 9th level of the divine god realm. It was impossible for a 9th level divine god realm cultivator to live for such a long time. Although the 6 old men from the heavenly human tribe didn't look young, they hadn't reached the end of their lifespan. Could it be that they were also brought here by the fragments of the life spirit primordial stone? It was very likely, because no one knew how many fragments of the life spirit primordial stone had been broken into. No one knew how many fragments of the life spirit primordial stone were in the universe. Since Lu Ming's fragment of the life spirit primordial stone was strange and had brought them here, it was very likely that the fragments of the others' life spirit primordial stones were also strange. However, the 6 old men from the 9th level of the divine god realm were nothing to Lu Ming and the others. Even if they didn't look young and had stayed in the 9th level of the divine god realm for many years, no matter how strong they were, they couldn't be compared to them. Kill them! Shouted one of the old men from the heavenly human tribe. He slashed at Lu Ming with his sword. The sword light was sharp and contained a terrifying power. It was the power of the heavenly punishment. However, his heavenly execution power was very weak. Compared to Yi Qianyue's heavenly execution power, it was many times weaker. The other 5 old men from the heavenly human tribe also attacked Lu Ming and the others. They all controlled the strongest heavenly punishment, but they were very weak. They couldn't be compared to the top geniuses of the heavenly human tribe. "Leave these people to me," said Wan Shen. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. Boom! He unleashed his divine power. The muscles on his arms bulged as he threw 6 punches. The 6 punches were powerful enough to topple mountains and overturn seas. They destroyed the attacks of the 6 old men from the heavenly human tribe and landed on them. Chapter 44-55. Wan Shen blasted out 6 fist forces, destroying the attacks of the 6 celestial elders. Not only that, the fist forces did not stop and continued to bombard the 6 celestial elders. Bang, 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 bang. 5 of the heavenly human elders' bodies exploded like balloons. Their bodies and souls were destroyed, and they died on the spot. Only 1 heavenly human elder survived, but there was a big hole in his chest. He was severely injured. How can you be so strong? The heavenly human elder said as he spat out blood. He was shocked. He couldn't believe it. The heavenly human tribe was talented. It was much easier for them to fight above their level than other tribes. The 6 of them weren't young. They had cultivated for dozens of stellar years. They had been stuck at the 9th level of the great supreme god realm for a long time. After cultivating for such a long time, their sky power was pure, and their secret techniques were profound. They even controlled a trace of the ultimate sky power. Combined, their battle power was extremely strong. The other 5 elders all had 6-star battle power. And he was even stronger. He had 7-star battle power. 6-star battle power and 7-star battle power were top-tier existences in the great supreme god realm. Not many people could defeat them. 6-star and 7-star battle power were nothing in the Battle of the Origins. That was because the Battle of the Origins gathered a group of the strongest geniuses in the universe. There were too many geniuses. Those at the bottom of the universe prodigy list only had 6-star battle power. The reason why they could possess such powerful combat prowess was because of the natural talent of the celestial race and the accumulation of many years of cultivation. The time they had cultivated was far from what a young man could compare to. However, even with such combat strength and the 6 of them joining forces, Wan Shen had killed 5 of them with a single strike. Furthermore, Wan Shen himself had been severely injured. If he wasn't stronger than the other 5 and good at survival, he would have been killed. The one who attacked was a young man. He could see that Wan Shen was definitely young. He was definitely part of the younger generation. How could someone from the younger generation be so strong? Even if his battle power was so strong, his cultivation was too strong. He had reached the 9th level of the Great Supreme God Realm at such a young age. As far as he knew, even the strongest young genius of the heavenly human tribe was only at the 6th level of the Great Supreme God Realm. How could there be a 9th level Great Supreme God Realm existence among the younger generation? He couldn't figure it out. Get rid of it. There was only one thought in the heavenly human tribe elder's mind. Then he roared, "How dare you kill my heavenly human tribe? You're courting death." After roaring, the heavenly human elder dragged his injured body and retreated rapidly. "You can't escape. Kill." The myriad god shouted coldly as he punched out again. He unleashed his divine power, and a massive fist energy formed into a gigantic fist that blasted toward his opponent. "Ah, someone will avenge me." The celestial race elder roared loudly. His body erupted with dazzling radiance as he prepared to go all out. However, his strength was far inferior to myriad gods. There was no way he could withstand it. His attack crumbled under myriad gods' fist force, unable to form any resistance. The heavenly human elder was about to die under the 10,000 gods' fist. "How dare you! Stop!" Suddenly, a loud cry rang out from the distance, shaking the void. A powerful aura exploded out from that direction. Following that, a long spear rapidly enlarged and stabbed towards Wan Shen in an attempt to stop him. Divine Master Realm. Upon sensing this aura, Lu Ming and the others were startled. This aura came from a Divine Master Realm expert. The one who had attacked was a Divine Master. However, what made Lu Ming and the others certain was that this Divine Master wasn't too strong. He should only be a first-layer Divine Master. First-layer Divine Master? Don't even think about stopping me. Wan Shen roared as a battle sword appeared above his head. This was an origin source secret technique. Whoosh! The battle sword enlarged and slashed at the long spear. His fist energy didn't stop as it continued to blast at the heavenly human elder. This time, the heavenly human elder couldn't withstand it any longer. He exploded from the punch, his body and soul destroyed. Clang! On the other side, the battle sword and long spear collided, erupting with a violent explosion. Powerful energy swept out in all directions, causing many tall buildings to crumble into rubble. This was the Life Spirit Heavenly Court. Originally, the buildings here were sturdy and indestructible. Ordinary divine masters would find it difficult to destroy them. However, too much time had passed, and many things had decayed. Although the buildings here hadn't completely decayed, they were no longer sturdy and could be easily destroyed. The battle sword formed by the 10,000 deities was knocked back. It trembled violently and was covered in cracks. As for that long spear, it was also blocked and retracted. However, in the next moment, a beam of rainbow light flew over. The rainbow light faded, revealing a figure. It was also an elder who looked to be around 60 years old. Without a doubt, he was also a heavenly human. This heavenly human elder had a powerful aura. He was a first-layer divine master, but at this moment, his eyes were fixed on Wan Shen, revealing an incomparable shock. "So young, but a 9th-layer divine master. You can even block one of my attacks," the divine master elder muttered. His voice filled with disbelief. "These heavenly humans don't seem to recognize us?" Lu Ming and the rest glanced at one another, revealing a trace of doubt. Based on their performance in the Battle of Origins, most people in the heavenly human tribe probably recognized them. This was because during the Battle of Origins, many people had transmitted images of the battle to the illusory space through the illusory divine jade. Countless people in the universe had witnessed the battle. However, these heavenly human elders they had just met didn't seem to recognize them at all. Moreover, they seemed to find it hard to believe that Wan Shen had reached the 9th-layer divine master realm. However, in the Taishang Immortal City, many of the younger generation's geniuses had reached the 9th-layer divine master realm. Could it be that these people in front of them didn't know about the Taishang Immortal City? Could it be that these people had already entered here? So what if I blocked one of your attacks? Killing you isn't difficult at all. Wan Shen thought for a while, but couldn't figure it out. He couldn't be bothered to think about it anymore. With a loud shout, he charged toward the heavenly human, intending to capture him and interrogate him properly. The bodies of the 10,000 deities emitted brilliant glows as they executed various origin secret arts. In the end, dozens of origin secret techniques filled the void and attacked the heavenly human. The ferocious attack caused the Divine Master Heavenly Human Tribe Elder's expression to change drastically. The aura of a primordial divine spirit. You're a pure-blooded primordial divine spirit. Impossible. The Divine Master Heavenly Human roared in horror. Nothing is impossible. Kill. Wan Shen's body mixed in with dozens of origin secret techniques and charged toward the heavenly human. A storm of attacks swept toward the heavenly human. At the critical moment, the heavenly human reacted. His long spear shook, turning into a sky full of spear light that pierced toward Wan Shen. Chapter 44-56. The spear light clashed with Wan Shen's many secret techniques, blocking several dozen of them. However, Wan Shen himself had managed to sneak in with the secret techniques. He wielded a giant battle sword and swept it toward the heavenly human tribe's divine master realm existences. The battle sword was a kind of origin secret art. When it was wielded by the 10,000 deities, it could unleash its full power. The sharp sword chi caused the heavenly human race divine lord's expression to turn grave. Bas! He shook his spear, which was covered in a layer of strange energy and filled with a fiendish aura. This was one of the 4 strongest heavenly powers, the innate baleful energy. Those who could break through to the divine lord realm were all geniuses with decent talent. Thus, it was normal for a heavenly human race divine lord to be able to control one of the strongest heavenly powers. Clang! The spear and the sword clashed with a loud clang. Both of them trembled and retreated several dozen steps before they managed to stabilize themselves. This old fellow is so strong. Wan Shen licked his lips, and the savage killing intent in his eyes grew even thicker. The heavenly human race is indeed stronger than the other races, regardless of cultivation level. Lu Ming also spoke from nearby. Logically speaking, a 9th-level God Emperor with 9 stars of combat strength should be able to fight against an ordinary 1st-level God Lord. However, ordinary 1st-level God Lords were very rare. This was because anyone who could break through to the God Lord realm was extremely talented. When they were at the God Emperor realm, they were already powerful geniuses with star-level combat strength. This heavenly human race divine lord was even stronger. He controlled the innate baleful energy, and his combat strength far surpassed an ordinary 1st-level God Lord. Wan Shen had 12 stars of combat strength, but he was only able to fight to a draw. Thus, Wan Shen was very shocked. However, his opponent was even more shocked. What sort of combat strength is this? 12 stars of battle prowess. He actually possesses 12 stars of battle prowess. How is this possible? The heavenly human race divine lord's heart was in turmoil, and he found it difficult to calm down. As far as he knew, only 2 people in the younger generation of the heavenly human race possessed 12 stars of combat strength. They were Yi Chu Tianji and Yi Ling Hongya. The 2 of them were known as the strongest son and daughter of heaven. Now, a pure-blooded primitive god spirit actually possessed such combat strength. This was truly shocking. I must kill this guy. At this thought, the heavenly human tribe's divine lord revealed a strong murderous intent. He brandished his spear and charged at Wan Shen. Thousands of spear lights pierced through the void and shot toward the 10,000 gods. Kill! Wan Shen roared as he took a step forward. Like a primordial beast, he lunged forward with his sword, aiming for a vital point. At the same time, the other origin source secret techniques also attacked the heavenly human tribe divine master. Boom! 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 The 2 of them were like 2 shooting stars as they collided with each other. They were constantly fighting and exchanging blows. In the blink of an eye, the 2 of them had exchanged over 100 rounds, but there was still no clear victor. Wan Shen, end this quickly. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to the myriad god. The myriad god's gaze flickered as a ferocious glint flashed across his eyes. I wanted to play with you a little longer, but now, I'll send you on your way. As soon as he said that, a metal rod appeared in the myriad god's hand. This iron rod was pitch black, completely different from Lu Ming's mysterious ice rod, but it emitted a terrifying aura. This was a weapon of mass destruction controlled by the myriad gods, a top-grade divine weapon. Bas! The pitch-black iron rod buzzed as it emitted a powerful aura. It rapidly expanded and pressed down on the Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Lord. The Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Lord's expression changed drastically. He roared furiously as he brandished his spear with all his might to block. However, when the two weapons collided, the Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Lord seemed to have been struck by lightning. His body shook violently as he retreated. The spear in his hand buzzed incessantly as its light dimmed significantly. It seemed to have been heavily injured. This is an source-grade divine weapon. The Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Lord roared. His eyes were filled with shock and greed. An source-grade divine weapon was a divine weapon exclusive to Origin Realm experts. Only Origin Realm experts could use it to its full potential. Those below Origin Realm would find it difficult to use it to its full potential, but it was still no small matter. It could greatly increase one's strength. However, there were just too few source-grade divine weapons. In the primitive universe, source-grade divine weapons were extremely rare. This was because it was just too difficult to refine. It required materials that contained origin, which were extremely rare. Furthermore, there were just too few people who could refine source-grade divine weapons. As a result, source-grade divine weapons were extremely rare. There were even quite a few Origin Realm experts who did not possess a source-grade divine weapon. From this, one could see just how rare source-grade divine weapons were. There were quite a few young geniuses who possessed great weapons of mass destruction. However, these weapons differed in strength. Most of them were master-grade divine weapons. There were very few people who possessed source-grade divine weapons. The value of a single source-grade divine weapon was immeasurable. The pitch-black iron rod in Wan Shen's hand was a source-grade divine weapon. It was no wonder that the Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Lord was so shocked and greedy. With his source-grade divine weapon, Wan Shen's battle prowess had greatly increased. He could completely suppress his opponent. Kill! Wan Shen roared as he continued to swing his rod at the Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Lord. The Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Lord's expression changed before he suddenly retreated. He did not dare to continue the battle. However, Wan Shen was relentless in his pursuit. His rod shadows filled the air as dozens of thousands of feet-long rod shadows pressed down on the Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Lord. He had no choice but to take them head-on. With a furious roar, he pushed his strength to the limit and stabbed his spear upward. A spear light burst out, piercing through the sky. He hoped to block the incoming rod shadows. However, when the rod shadows pressed down, the spear light shattered. The Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Lord coughed up a mouthful of blood, his face pale. He was injured after taking the attack head-on. No, this brat has used an source-grade divine weapon. I'm no longer his opponent. If I continue fighting, it'll be disadvantageous for me. I'll leave first and call for reinforcements to kill them. However, this brat is chasing me relentlessly. It'll be difficult to shake him off. I need to find a hostage to threaten him before I can leave. Who should I find? The Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Lord quickly glanced at Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and Qiu Yu. Finally, he fixed his gaze on Qiu Yu. In his opinion, a woman would be more useful as a hostage. Moreover, Qiu Yu would look more delicate. Therefore, he dashed toward Qiu Yu without hesitation. At this moment, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and Qiu Yu were separated. They were afraid that the Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Lord would escape, so the three of them had split up and surrounded him. Seeing the Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Lord dashing toward Qiu Yu, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing did not react at all. They had no intention of helping him. Lu Ming knew Qiu Yu's strength very well. Although her combat strength of 11 stars was not as strong as Wan Shen's, Qiu Yu still had a powerful weapon. Although it was not an source-grade divine weapon, it was still a top-grade divine weapon. If Qiu Yu used all her strength, it would not be a problem for her to block the Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Lord. As expected, Qiu Yu shouted and a machete flew out from between her eyebrows. Under the power of the Sacred Heart of 9 Orifices, the machete slashed toward the Divine Lord. Chapter 44-57. Autumn Moon's scimitar was covered by the power of the Sacred Heart of 9 Orifices and was extremely powerful. It hit the spear of the Heavenly Human Tribe Divine Master. With a clang, the Heavenly Human Tribe Divine Master's body was blocked and he even took a few steps back. Although Autumn Moon also took a few steps back, the Heavenly Human Tribe Divine Master's heart was pounding. How is this possible? How can this woman be so powerful? The power of 9 colors. Is this the legendary sacred heart of 9 orifices? The heavenly human tribe divine master was extremely shocked. He did not expect another person to be so powerful. Although Autumn Moon's strength was not comparable to Wan Shen's, she was definitely powerful and had a combat strength of 11 stars. This combat strength was already at the level of the heavenly children. First, it was Wan Shen who was comparable to the strongest heavenly children. Now, it was a seemingly weak woman who was at the same level as the heavenly children. More importantly, her cultivation had also reached the 9th level of the divine god realm. This seriously exceeded the knowledge of the heavenly human tribe divine master. Since when were there 2 such terrifying geniuses in the universe? Autumn Moon did not think as much as the heavenly human tribe divine master. After she took a step back, she continued to control her scimitar and slashed at the heavenly human tribe divine master. The heavenly human tribe divine master reacted and blocked her attack. The 2 of them exchanged blows again and the outcome was a draw. Meanwhile, Wan Shen had already rushed over and was about to reach them. No, this woman is too powerful. It's impossible to take her as a hostage. I chose the wrong target. I should have gone for the other one. Thinking of this, the heavenly human tribe divine master did not continue fighting. He quickly retreated and rushed towards Xian Yanqing. Wan Shen was speechless. Seeing the heavenly human tribe divine master rushing towards Xian Yanqing, Wan Shen was not in a hurry and slowed down. Wan Shen was willing to give up Autumn Moon to go for Xian Yanqing. Wan Shen really wanted to see his expression. Soon, Wan Shen's wish was fulfilled. Xian Yanqing's face was cold. He did not want to waste time talking to Wan Shen, so he summoned his ultimate weapon. Xian Yanqing's ultimate weapon was a black lotus. The black lotus spun rapidly and its petals opened, turning into the most terrifying weapon and attacking the heavenly human tribe divine master. Clang clang clang. The black lotus collided with the long spear of the celestial race's divine master. The black lotus spun crazily and cut the long spear. The terrifying power made the celestial race's divine master lose his grip on the long spear. He retreated rapidly and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. He was injured again. No, this is impossible. How is this possible? The heavenly humans were the most hurt. He felt that his heart was about to explode from the shock. This was because he realized that Xian Yanqing's strength was in no way weaker than myriad gods. A 9th-layer Great God Realm cultivator with 12 stars of battle power controlled a terrifying killing weapon. It was the best configuration. What's going on? What's going on? Has the world gone mad? The fact that several such terrifying geniuses had appeared consecutively had completely exceeded the limits of his imagination. He had stayed here for thousands of years. What had happened outside? If there was only one such terrifying heaven's favorite, he could still accept it. But now, it happened again and again. There were already 3 of them. He was dumbfounded. I don't believe it. I don't believe that all 4 of them are so powerful. I don't believe it. The celestial race's divine master roared in his heart. He immediately abandoned Xian Yanqing and charged toward Lu Ming. Die, brat! The celestial race's divine master roared and unleashed his killing move. Terrifying energy surged toward Lu Ming. He wanted to kill Lu Ming in one fell swoop. It seemed that he would only feel better if he killed Lu Ming. Only then would he feel that the world was not as crazy as it seemed. Only then would he feel that his previous understanding of the world was correct. Myriad God, Xian Yanqing, and Xueqi were speechless. Seeing the celestial race's divine master charging toward Lu Ming, they were speechless. They were even less anxious. They simply followed behind the celestial race's divine master and blocked his path of retreat. I'm too lazy to play with you. Let's finish this in one move. A snow-white staff appeared in Lu Ming's hand. It was the Bingxian staff. The Bingxian staff could not be used in the Taishang Immortal City, but there were no such restrictions here. The Bingxian staff had been dormant for 1,000 years. It was time for it to shine. Bas! Lu Ming activated his full strength. Rich and majestic forbidden energy surged wildly into the Bingxian staff. The Bingxian staff rapidly enlarged into a towering pillar. Then, it smashed toward the celestial race's divine master. Boom! Then, the celestial race's divine master's body crashed into the ground like a meteorite. He crashed into a dilapidated building, creating a huge crater in the extremely hard ground. The celestial race's divine master lay in the crater. His bones were all shattered. He could not move at all. Blood kept flowing out of his mouth, and his body kept convulsing. However, his eyes were blank. He was doubting life. His mind was also a mess. A few questions kept echoing in his mind. How is this possible? How can his combat strength be so strong? 13 stars? Impossible. This is crazy. This world has gone crazy. I must be dreaming. He could not accept the reality in front of him. Divine Lord Realm existences had extremely sharp senses, and their perception of power was also extremely shocking. In the collision just now, although Lu Ming had used the Bingxian staff, he could still feel that Lu Ming's combat strength had surpassed 12 stars and reached the legendary 13 stars. He was almost scared to death. What did 13 stars mean? He had learned about it before. Throughout the long history of the primitive universe, there were very few who could reach 13 stars. One could count them with one's fingers. In the history of the celestial race, there were only 2 celestial thearchs who had reached 13 stars of combat strength. Those 2 were people who had mastered the perfect power of heaven. As far as he knew, the current generation of the celestial race could be said to be full of talents. There were even 2 celestial race cultivators with 12 stars of combat strength. However, none of them had reached 13 stars. Now, a young man who had reached 13 stars of combat strength had suddenly appeared. He was completely dumbfounded. Haha, this expression is awesome. The myriad deities flew over and laughed loudly. This guy wanted to take the others as hostages, but in the end, he was beaten to the point of doubting life. Seeing a divine master like this, Wan Shen felt an indescribable sense of satisfaction. Let's leave this place first. The commotion just now was too big. There might be other celestial race cultivators nearby. Xian Yanqing said. Lu Ming nodded. He grabbed the Heavenly Human Clan's Godmaster in his hand. This Heavenly Human Divine Master had been severely injured by Lu Ming's attack and couldn't fight back. The Bingxian staff is stronger than I thought. Without a doubt, it's an source-level divine weapon, and not an ordinary one. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Back then, the Heavenly Court was so powerful that it could compete with the Heavenly Palace. As the Heavenly Court's 18 divine weapons, there was no doubt that they were all source-level divine weapons, and not ordinary ones. They were even more advanced than Wan Shen's black staff. Together with Lu Ming's 13 stars of combat strength, it was normal for him to severely injure the Heavenly Human Divine Master with one attack. Chapter 44-58. Grabbing the Celestial Race Godlord, the 4 of them left in a flash. Not long after, they appeared in an undamaged building in the distance. Speak. Why did the Celestial Race appear here? When did you arrive? How many people did you bring? Lu Ming coldly asked as he threw the Celestial Race Godlord to the ground. By now, the Celestial Race Godlord had come back to his senses. He glared at Lu Ming's group of 4 with hatred and murderous intent. I know that one of you is in control of the Life Soul Source Stone fragment, but don't even think about getting any information out of me. Is that so? Aren't you afraid of death? Lu Ming coldly said. Will you let me go if I tell you? Haha. The Celestial Race Godlord countered with a mocking tone. Clearly, he was very rational and knew that even if he told them everything, only death awaited him. Thus, he would not say anything. Today, you have to speak even if you don't want to. Wan Shen coldly barked as he sent a stream of energy into the Godlord's body. Immediately, the Celestial Race Godlord's body began to tremble, and cold sweat broke out on his face. He was clearly enduring immense pain. But he gritted his teeth and did not say a word. He did not even grunt. Humph, you're quite stubborn. Now, I'll let you have a taste of withered bones devouring your soul. Let's see how long you can endure. Wan Shen coldly snorted as he waved his hands and sent several streams of energy into the Godlord's body. The Godlord's body began to tremble even more. More and more cold sweat broke out on his body, and his face turned red from the pain. However, he still managed to hold himself back. You'd better speak soon. I can give you a quick death, Wan Shen said. Don't expect me to say a single word. Someone will avenge me. Just you wait. The Celestial Race Godlord roared. Wan Shen's expression turned somewhat ugly. This person's bones are truly stubborn. It seems like it won't be easy to get some information out of this person. Kill him. Lu Ming said. As you wish. Wan Shen stepped forward. A violent energy exploded and destroyed the Godlord's body. However, His forehead began to shine. One could see an extremely deep black hole. A golden divine bridge extending into the depths of the black hole. This was the universe bridge. Normally, Almighty Masters would form a universe bridge that led to the depths of the black hole. Their ultimate goal was to connect to Universe Ocean. Once he reached the pinnacle of the Almighty stage, his universe bridge would connect to Universe Ocean, and he would be able to comprehend the origin. That was why it was impossible to comprehend origins without reaching the peak of the Divine Master realm. After the battle for the Seed of Origin in the Grand Supreme Immortal City, they were able to enter the Cosmic Ocean directly. Their methods could be said to be extremely powerful. The universe bridge kept trembling as though it was struggling to break through space. You still want to struggle? Break. The myriad god bellowed coldly. His strength erupted as he stomped down. With a loud boom, the black hole along with the universe bridge completely exploded, turning into energy and dissipating. This divine master of the heavenly human tribe had been completely annihilated. It seems like there are quite a number of people from the heavenly human tribe who have entered this place. From now on, we have to be more cautious, Lu Ming said. Next, they left this place and continued to head deeper into the ancient city. However, they were much more cautious. They did not fly in the air, but ran quickly on the ground. Even so, they were still attacked very quickly. A group of heavenly human tribe members blocked Lu Ming's path. There were more than a dozen of them, and they all looked very old. 1 Divine Master and 12 9th-level Great God Realm cultivators. We can deal with them. Let's go, Lu Ming said. The Divine Master on the other side was only a 1st-level Divine Master. There was nothing to be afraid of. Set up the formation, shouted the heavenly human cultivator of the 1st godly leader layer. The other 12 cultivators of the 9th Great Supreme God layer moved and surrounded him. A terrifying chi dashed to the skies. Then, a huge battle sword was formed and slashed toward Lu Ming and the others. Be careful. It's the 9 Heavens battle formation. Lu Ming rushed forward and took out the Bingxian rod. He swung it out and clashed with the huge battle sword. Boom! The battle sword shattered. The 13 people on the other side kept retreating. Their faces were pale, but they were not injured. The 9 Heavens battle formation is indeed powerful. However, these people's strength is also extraordinary. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. The 12 9th-level Great God Realm cultivators from the heavenly human tribe had at least 6-star fighting strength. Some of them even had 7-star fighting strength. There was also a powerful Divine Master. After setting up the 9 Heavens battle formation, they managed to block Lu Ming's attack. However, the heavenly human tribe members were even more shocked. When they looked at Lu Ming, they were deeply shocked. The 9 Heavens battle formation, which had a 1st-level Divine Master as its core and 12 powerful Great God Realm cultivators as its support, was actually at a disadvantage. However, before they could think about it, Wan Shen and the others had also arrived. Wan Shen, Xian Yanqing, and Qiu Yu attacked together. The attacks fell like a storm. The 13 heavenly human tribe members were shaken and kept retreating. The 12 9th-level Great God Realm cultivators were bleeding from the corners of their mouths. Even with the support of the 9 Heavens battle formation, they were still under great pressure. Where did these people come from? The 13 heavenly human tribe members were terrified. The strength of these 4 young people was beyond their imagination. Lu Ming and the other 3 were about to break the other party's 9 Heavens battle formation in one go. However, there was a loud shout not far away. A few thieves! How dare you! Dang! A loud shout rang out, and an overwhelming aura surged over. This is a 2nd-level Divine Master. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and the others turned grim. They might be able to fight against a 1st-level Divine Master with their powerful weapons, but they could even suppress him. Lu Ming, in particular, could even kill his opponent. However, a 2nd-level Divine Master was much stronger than a 1st-level Divine Master. Even Lu Ming might not be able to defeat a 2nd-level Divine Master. Let's go! Lu Ming shouted. The 4 stopped attacking. They turned around and fled into the distance. A 2nd-level Divine Master heavenly human was not someone they could fight against. If it was just an ordinary 2nd-level Divine Master, the 4 of them might be able to fight him if they worked together. However, the members of the heavenly human tribe were generally stronger than those of other tribes. This was not the point. The point was that they did not know how many heavenly human tribe members were in this ancient city and how many experts there were. However, it seemed that there were quite a few of them. Once they were surrounded, they would be in great danger. Where do you think you're going? An old man appeared not far away. He was a second-level divine master, and he chased after Lu Ming's group with astonishing speed. Let's chase together. The 13 heavenly human tribe members also chased after Lu Ming's group. In the blink of an eye, they had disappeared. Not long after, Lu Ming's group of 4 had unsightly expressions. This was because that second-level divine master was very fast, much faster than them. The distance between the two sides was constantly closing. Chapter 44-59. As expected, it didn't take long for the two sides to close in on each other. Heavenly Annihilation Palm. Die for this old man. The second-level divine master Celestial roared. His heavenly power erupted as he thrust his palm forward. A massive palm shot toward Lu Ming's group of 4. This palm was formed from heavenly annihilation power and was imbued with destructive power. The massive palm enveloped Lu Ming's group of 4. Before the palm even reached them, their faces paled. Attack together. Block it. The 4 of them roared as they attacked with all their might. Wan Shen swung his pitch-black metal staff, and Lu Ming used his ice mystic staff to meet the attack head-on. Xian Yanqing and Autumn Moon also used their trump cards, following behind Lu Ming and Wan Shen's attacks to find an opening. But when the palm pressed down, Lu Ming's group of 4 shuddered and retreated, smashing through 5 or 6 tall buildings. Lu Ming felt his aura boil, but he quickly suppressed it and returned to normal. Xian Yanqing and Wan Shen were slightly pale. Their hands and bodies were trembling slightly. Autumn Moon's condition was the worst. Her slender body trembled as she vomited blood. Autumn Moon. How are you? Lu Ming asked worriedly. Young master, don't worry. I'm fine. Autumn Moon smiled. As she spoke, the 9 orifices sacred heart in Autumn Moon's chest throbbed. 9 colored power seeped into her body, giving her an exuberant life force. Autumn Moon's injuries healed at an astonishing rate. You can block this old man's palm. Let's do it again. The second-level divine master celestial race elder was extremely shocked, but he suppressed his shock and attacked again. His yellow hair danced in the wind as his heavenly power boiled. He pushed his strength to the limit and fired off several palms. A few grayish palm prints that were as huge as mountains blasted toward Lu Ming and the group of 4. The 4 of them could only fight back with all their might. Boom! Boom! Palm imprints pressed down one after another, and Lu Ming's group was once again sent flying. This time, even Lu Ming was slightly injured. His face was somewhat pale. As for Myriad God and Xian Yanqing, their injuries were even worse. The one in the most critical condition was Autumn Moon. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood and his aura was somewhat sluggish. Clearly, he was severely injured. Autumn Moon, don't attack anymore. Stay behind me. Lu Ming shouted. Young master. Autumn Moon was a little stubborn. She still wanted to attack, but under Lu Ming's stern gaze, she gave in and stood behind Lu Ming. It doesn't matter who you are hiding behind. All of you are going to die anyway. Die for this old man. The second-level divine lord of the celestial race roared as he continued to attack. Large gray palms continued to bombard Lu Ming's group. Lu Ming, I'll stop him. You wait for an opportunity to counterattack. Xian Yanqing's voice rang out in Lu Ming's ear. As she spoke, she took a step forward and unleashed her heavenly demon domain. At the same time, lotus flowers appeared. These lotus flowers wove together to form a shield. Lu Ming saw a mysterious and strange energy in these lotus flowers. The energy of origin. Yes, Xian Yanqing could also use the energy of origin. After the battle for the origin seeds ended, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Myriad God, and Autumn Moon had verified what they had learned. As the champion, Lu Ming was in the best position. His connection to the cosmic sea was the best, so the origin seed he had condensed was naturally the best. The origin seed was the size of a longan. Lu Ming could use the origin energy within it to attack or defend, but he could only use it once. Second to Lu Ming was Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing's origin seed was about the size of a broad bean. However, Xian Yanqing could also use the origin energy within it to attack or defend, but she could only use it once. Of course, the amount of origin energy she could use was less than Lu Ming's, so it was naturally weaker. Xian Yanqing had been in the second position. As for Myriad God and Autumn Moon, they were in the third position. Their origin seeds were even smaller, only the size of a green bean. Moreover, because they were too small, they could not use them at all. They could only use them to cultivate. Now, Xian Yanqing was relying on his origin energy to block his opponent's attack. "I'm coming too!" Myriad God roared. Although he could not use his origin energy, he pushed 10 some defensive origin secret techniques to their limits, covering the area in front of him. Boom! Boom! The heavenly annihilation palm smashed down, causing a violent explosion. Plash! Myriad God was the first to succumb. He coughed up large mouthfuls of blood as his body was sent flying, smashing through 10 some buildings before finally coming to a stop after crashing into a massive stone stele. His arms had been shattered, and his body was in tatters. He was severely injured. Xian Yanqing was not faring much better. The lotus flower shield she had formed began to shatter. Her body was also sent flying, coughing up blood. She could not use much origin energy, but origin energy was still origin energy. Even though Myriad God and Xian Yanqing were heavily injured, they were still able to block the attack. The annihilating palm imprints that the opponent had sent out crumbled. Thish! At this moment, a resplendent spear light pierced through the void toward the second-level divine lord of the celestial race with astonishing speed. Lu Ming had made his move. His timing was impeccable. The moment the annihilating palm imprints crumbled, he used the heaven-cleaving style. At the same time, he used origin energy. Yes, this move was shockingly powerful. At this critical moment, the second-level divine lord of the celestial race could not use any powerful defensive skills. He could only use his palms to block. His palms collided with the spear aura. With a loud boom, a powerful force swept out. Plash! The spear light pierced through the celestial race second-level divine lord's palms. The spear light did not stop and continued to stab into his body. Ah! The celestial race second-level divine lord screamed as he retreated, leaving a trail of blood in his wake. His chest had been pierced through, leaving a hole that went straight through the front and back of his body. The power of the origin continued to rush left and right in his wounds, causing destruction. However, this person had used heaven's power to block it. The divine power of a second-level divine lord is truly powerful. What a pity, Lu Ming sighed. In the end, there was still a gap between his strength and that of a second-level divine lord. He had used his strongest attack to launch a sneak attack, but he had still failed to kill his opponent. Let's go! Since he did not manage to kill the other party with one strike, Lu Ming did not hesitate. He turned around and left. Taboo power gushed out, sweeping up Qiu Yu, Xian Yanqing, and Wan Shen as they flew into the distance. Little brat, don't think of leaving. The celestial race second-level divine lord roared. He was about to give chase, but his body trembled and he vomited blood, his face ghastly pale. That move just now had contained origin energy and was shockingly powerful. It had already dealt him a heavy blow. Chapter 4460. Source Energy. This is the source energy. How can a god emperor control the source energy? The second-level god lord of the celestial race roared in his mind, disbelief written all over his face. He could sense origin energy in Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing's energies. As a god lord, he had interacted with heavenly venerables many times, so he naturally understood origin energy. There was a great difference between origin energy and the ancient origin characters, so he could easily distinguish them. Shock, confusion, envy. His heart was instantly filled with a myriad of emotions. At that moment, the cultivator of the first divine master layer arrived with 12 elders of the 9th great supreme god layer. He suppressed his shock and injuries and roared, "After them! Don't let them go!" Having said that, he endured his injuries and flew out, chasing after Lu Ming and the rest. He could not let Lu Ming's group escape. It was not only because Lu Ming's group was too dangerous and needed to be eliminated, but also for himself. He had to capture Lu Ming's group of 4 and learn how to control origin energy from Lu Ming's group. A mere god emperor was able to control the power of origin. With his divine master cultivation, he would definitely be able to succeed if he knew the method. If he could control origin energy in advance, he would have a chance of reaching origin energy in the future. His heart burned with passion. Thus, he put his life on the line, ignoring his injuries and the consequences as he madly pursued Lu Ming's group. The other celestial race experts also began to pursue this scoundrel. Lu Ming's expression turned rather unsightly. Although the second-tier divine master from the heavenly human tribe was severely injured and weakened, he seemed to have been injected with adrenaline. He chased after Lu Ming with all his might. Not only was Lu Ming unable to shake him off, but the distance between them was also closing. Moreover, he was carrying Xian Yanqing, Qiu Moon, and Wan Shen, so his speed was somewhat affected. If this continued, it was only a matter of time before they were caught. "Young master, put me down. Let me stop them," Qiu Moon called out. "Lu Ming, you go first. Don't worry about me." Xian Yanqing also called out. "That's right. Put me down. I don't like this guy. Put me down and I'll cut off his head." Wan Shen also called out. They did not want to implicate Lu Ming and wanted to lighten the burden on Lu Ming. At the same time, they also wanted to stop the celestial race experts and buy Lu Ming time. How could Lu Ming not know what Qiu Moon and Xian Yanqing's group's intentions? Thus, he ignored them and continued flying at full speed. However, the distance between them and the God Emperor's group and their group. "Kid, you can't leave. Stop right there and I'll give you a quick death," a second-tier divine master from the heavenly human tribe shouted, trying to put psychological pressure on Lu Ming. His God. Damn it. The power of the origin source is truly terrifying, he roared in his heart. Pursuing Lu Ming with all his might was extremely harmful to him. If this continued, there would be many side effects. In the best-case scenario, his cultivation base would deteriorate, and in the worst-case scenario, he would be left with injuries that he would never be able to recover from. His cultivation base would never be able to improve. However, compared to the method of controlling the origin source, he still decided to risk his life. He was no longer young, and his potential was about to be exhausted. However, his cultivation base was only at the second tier of the God Master realm. If he did not encounter any heaven-defying opportunities, reaching the third tier of the God Master realm would be his limit. Hence, even if he was left with injuries that were difficult to recover from, his losses would not be too great. However, once he obtained the method of controlling the origin source, his potential would skyrocket. His cultivation base would advance by leaps and bounds, and he might even be able to break through to the reciprocity realm. Compared to the potential gains, risking his life and taking the risk was completely worth it. He continued to suppress his injuries and continued his pursuit. A few minutes passed in the blink of an eye. Fog is rising. Suddenly, Lu Ming's expression changed. Fog suddenly rose from the ancient city. It was unknown where the fog came from. It seemed to have come directly from space or from the ground. In the blink of an eye, the void was filled with a thick fog, and it was getting thicker and thicker. In the future, it would become similar to the void they had come from. This fog could cut off vision and spiritual sense. Lu Ming sensed that his visibility was rapidly decreasing, and the range of his spiritual sense was also rapidly shrinking. Not good. It's time for fog to rise again. The celestial race second-tier God Master realm expert grimaced, his expression turning extremely unsightly. He desperately burned heavenly power to increase his speed so that he could catch up to Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming's figure in front of him was still growing more and more indistinct. The fog was getting thicker and thicker. The heavens are helping me. Lu Ming was not alarmed. On the contrary, he was delighted. This fog was far too useful to him. He could use this opportunity to throw off the celestial race second-tier God Master realm expert. Swish! Lu Ming rushed to the surface, and then his body began to flicker as he passed through various buildings. The fog was already getting thicker and thicker, and with the addition of the tall buildings, it affected his vision even more. A little while later, the celestial race second-tier God Master realm expert had completely lost track of Lu Ming. Damn it! You can't get away! Once the fog disperses, you'll all die! The celestial race expert roared. Then he stopped and sat down cross-legged. He took out several pills, swallowed them, and began to treat his injuries. I've finally shaken that fellow off. Lu Ming inwardly breathed a sigh of relief, but he did not stop and continued to fly. Only after flying far enough did Lu Ming find a building and stop. After stopping, Xian Yanqing, Qiu Moon, and Wan Shen swallowed divine pills and began to treat their injuries. Their bodies were different from ordinary people's, and their vitality was extremely tenacious. They recovered very quickly, and it didn't take long for the three of them to basically recover. At this time, the fog was extremely thick, about the same as the void outside the ancient city, and it severely affected their vision. Even in the air, they could only see objects that were 100 meters away. Even with their spiritual senses, they could only see a few hundred meters away. Fortunately, their hearing was somewhat better, but it was still greatly obstructed. I wonder how long this fog will last. Will it never disperse? Xian Yanqing muttered, his expression grave. If it really didn't disperse, it would be troublesome. In such an environment, it would be very difficult to distinguish directions. Moreover, they had been flying randomly, so they didn't even know where they were. It would be very difficult to get out. How could it be so coincidental that the fog started not long after we entered? Perhaps the fog will disperse after a while. Lu Ming said. What do we do now, young master? Qiu Moon asked. The four of them discussed for a while and decided to continue their search in a certain direction. They couldn't just stay where they were. If the fog didn't disperse, wouldn't they have to stay here for the rest of their lives? Of course that was impossible. They moved along the ground in the opposite direction. Of course, they did not move very quickly for fear of encountering some terrifying danger. Chapter 4461. Lu Ming and the other three moved forward in the mist. Their speed was not fast as they walked along the streets and alleys of the buildings, focusing on their surroundings. Half a day later, watch out. There's something up ahead. Suddenly, Lu Ming said and sent a message to Xian Yanqing and the others. Xian Yanqing and the other two also stopped and looked in one direction. Because from that direction, they heard the sound of explosions and weapons colliding. Someone was fighting. The four exchanged glances. Who was fighting? Was it the heavenly human race and the others, or the horrifying creatures in the mist? Lu Ming was confused, but he decided to go and check it out. The four hid their auras and rushed toward the direction of the sound. It's close. Hide, Lu Ming said. The four hid their bodies with the help of the tall buildings and continued to approach. Finally, a blurry figure appeared not far ahead. The heavenly human race. That's right, they saw a dozen heavenly human race members at first glance. Through their auras, they could see that one of them was a divine master. The other heavenly human race members were all at the 9th layer of the great god realm. However, they were not the ones who had chased after Lu Ming and the others, but the other heavenly human race members. The number of heavenly human race members here was indeed shocking. Right then, the divine master heavenly human race member did not attack. Only a dozen elders at the 9th layer of the great god realm joined hands and formed the 9 heavens battle formation to attack a young man. It's him. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Qiu Moon, and Wan Shen saw that young man and were all shocked. They knew this young man. Xueqi was one of the top geniuses on the universe ancient genius rank, ranked 18th. Everyone had seen him in the battle for the origin seed. He had an 8-star battle power and a cultivation base at the 9th layer of the great god realm. However, he was surrounded by more than a dozen elders from the heavenly human race and had no power to fight back at all. In a one-on-one battle, none of the heavenly human elders would be able to beat Xueqi. But with all of them setting up the 9-sky battle formation, Xueqi was completely suppressed. Right then, Xueqi was already wounded, and his clothes were dyed with blood. He kept backing out, and it looked like he was about to die. Lords of the heavenly human tribe, if you want the life soul origin stone fragment, I'll give it to you. Please spare my life. Xueqi screamed and started to beg for mercy. Humph, since you've come here and seen us, you have to die. After all, we can still get the fragments of the natal spirit stone in your hands after killing you. The divine master of the heavenly human race sneered and stood to the side with his hands clasped behind his back, looking calm and composed. So, Xueqi also has a piece of his life spirit yuan stone. Back in the top immortal city, it was suppressed, and I could not sense it at all. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Originally, the owner of the natal spirit stone fragment would be able to sense it when they were close. However, in the Taishang immortal city, everything was suppressed, including the fragments of the life spirit vitality stone. They were also suppressed, so they couldn't sense each other. Therefore, Lu Ming did not know that Xueqi had the natal spirit stone fragment in the top immortal city. The Battle of the Origin Seeds had gathered all of the top martial geniuses in the entire universe. Lu Ming estimated that Xueqi might not be the only one with the natal spirit stone fragment. However, since he could not sense it, he did not know who it was. Right then, Xueqi was no match for the heavenly human race. A beam of sword chi pierced through his body, and his body exploded into two halves. "Spare my life!" Xueqi screamed, but the heavenly human race warrior would not show any mercy. The 9-sky battle formation was activated, and the sword chi increased drastically as it continued to attack Xueqi. This time, Xueqi would not be able to survive. His head was pierced through by the sword chi and exploded. Shoo! Shoo! Xueqi's head exploded, and his sea of consciousness collapsed. A couple of beams of light shot out. Soul Origin Stone Fragment. Lu Ming could clearly see that one of the beams of light was indeed the Natal Spirit Stone Fragment. "I want to eat it! I want to eat it!" Lu Ming's Natal Spirit Stone was getting impatient, revealing a deep desire. However, it was suppressed by Lu Ming. That heavenly human race warrior reached out his hand and grabbed the Natal Spirit Stone Fragment. A smile appeared on his face as he said, "Very good. Another Natal Spirit Stone Fragment is in our hands. If we succeed this time, our master will definitely reward us handsomely. This time, I wonder how many people have come in here. It would be great if we could get a couple more of them." A 9th-level heavenly human race elder said, "Yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's give this Natal Spirit Stone Fragment to our master first, and then come out to look for the others," that heavenly master said. However, just as he finished speaking, his expression changed as he looked in one direction and yelled, "Who is it?" From that direction, 4 human figures suddenly shot out. These 4 human figures were naturally Lu Ming and the other 3. The other party was able to discover them because the 4 of them had done it on purpose. Because Lu Ming and the others had decided to attack. These heavenly human race warriors were not strong. They could sense that the heavenly master was only at the first level of the divine master realm. They could definitely deal with him. There were 2 reasons for killing these heavenly human race warriors. One was, of course, the Natal Spirit Stone Fragment. The other was to capture a few heavenly human race warriors and ask them some questions they wanted to know. Not every heavenly human race warrior was so stubborn that they would rather die than talk. 4 young people. More than 10 heavenly human race warriors were relieved when they saw Lu Ming and the other 3. They could already tell that Lu Ming and the other 3 were only God Emperors. God Emperors were not a threat. Bas! At that moment, the Natal Spirit Stone Fragment in the heavenly human race warrior's hand trembled and emitted a dim light. "They also have the Natal Spirit Stone Fragment." "Good, very good." He was overjoyed. "Young man, the Natal Spirit Stone Fragment is in your hand. Hand it over." The heavenly human race warrior took a step forward and charged toward Lu Ming. He grabbed at the air and grabbed at Lu Ming. He thought that with his strength, dealing with a young man at the 9th level of the divine god realm would be a piece of cake. Even a peerless genius was nothing in his eyes. A heavenly human race warrior at the 9th level of the divine god realm could fight against the most ordinary first level of the divine master realm. However, he was not the most ordinary first level of the divine master realm. Therefore, even if Lu Ming had a heavenly human race warrior of 9 or even 10 stars, he was confident that he could suppress him. Moreover, how many heavenly human race warriors had 9 or 10 stars? "I'll leave the others to you. I'll deal with this one." Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Xian Yanqing, Autumn Moon, and the myriad gods. Then he sped up. At the same time, the Bingxian staff appeared in his hand. Lu Ming used his strongest combat strength to end the battle quickly. Boom! The Bingxian staff enlarged and charged toward the heavenly human race warrior with unparalleled power. The Bingxian staff hit the heavenly human race warrior's palm first. It was as if it was crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. The heavenly human race warrior's palm exploded and blood and flesh flew everywhere. Chapter 4462. The first-level god lord of the celestial race widened his eyes in shock and disbelief. Lu Ming's strength had far exceeded his expectations. Not only was he stronger than he had imagined, but he was also much stronger. How could this be? His heart was filled with confusion and shock, but this was not the time for him to be shocked. He roared, and heavenly energy erupted from his body in an attempt to block Lu Ming's attack. But it was all in vain. Under the mysterious ice staff, his defenses and heavenly energy were pushed back again and again, crumbling apart. A terrifying pressure pressed down on him, and the ground beneath his feet began to crack. Finally, a large crater appeared in the ground. The first-level god lord of the celestial race lay in the crater, coughing up blood as his body twitched. His muscles and bones had already been shattered. In one move, Lu Ming had heavily injured him, and he was no longer able to fight. After Lu Ming used the mysterious ice staff, his strength completely overwhelmed this person. Moreover, this person had been too careless when facing Lu Ming, so it was normal for him to be beaten to a pulp in one move. As for Xian Yanqing and the others, they were about to finish their battle. The 9th-level God Emperors had originally wanted to set up the 9 Heavens battle formation, but Xian Yanqing had acted first, using the Celestial Demon Domain to disrupt the formation. Without the 9 Heavens battle formation, these people were on the same level as Xian Yanqing and the others. There was no suspense. The difference was too great, and they were easily defeated. At this time, these people were all heavily injured and lying on the ground, unable to move. They were no longer able to fight. However, no one had been killed. Lu Ming and the others still had questions to ask. "Let's leave this place first," Lu Ming said. With a wave of his hand, he swept up the 1st-level God Lord of the Celestial race and took him into the fog. Xian Yanqing, Qiu Moon, and Wan Shen followed with 10 some 9th-level God Emperors. Not long after, they entered a building. He threw the dozen or so heavenly humans onto the ground. Lu Ming reached out his hand and made a grabbing gesture. The original soul fragment that the opponent had gotten from Shao Chuha was caught in his hand. "You! How dare you? Don't you know that we are the heavenly human tribe? How dare you attack us? Aren't you afraid of implicating your 9 generations?" The Divine Master Realm Heavenly Human shouted. He actually wanted to threaten Lu Ming and the others. Bang! Wan Shen did not hold back and kicked the Divine Lord in the face. The man let out a blood-curdling scream as his old face came into close contact with the ground. Half of his face was swollen. "Ah, how dare you!" the Celestial Clan's Divine Master roared. 9 familial extermination? Audacious? I'm a heaven destroyer. Why would I be afraid of your heavenly palace? The myriad god sneered. The other party immediately shut his mouth, his expression extremely ugly. He howled in his heart. It was actually a heaven destroyer. The heaven destroyer specialized in fighting against the heavenly palace. Of course, they would not be afraid of the heavenly palace. Facing the heaven destroyer, their hearts kept sinking. "Speak, why are you heavenly human tribe here? Was it attracted by the life spirit vitality stone? When did you come? How many of you are here?" Lu Ming asked several questions. "Traitor, don't even think about getting any information from me. I won't say anything. Just give up." The Divine Master Realm Heavenly Human said coldly. "Is that so? Wan Shen, teach him a lesson." Lu Ming said. "Hee, leave it to me." Dry bones devouring soul. The myriad god sneered and moved his hands, sending several streams of energy into the other party's body. Soon, the other party's body began to tremble, and cold sweat dripped down his face. Clearly, this person's endurance was far inferior to the first-layer Divine Master that Lu Ming had interrogated earlier. After a while, this person let out a shrill scream. The faces of the other dozen God Emperors of the heavenly human tribe turned pale. What kind of technique was this? Even a God Emperor couldn't withstand it and let out a scream. However, this person was quite strong-willed. Although he screamed, he didn't say anything in the end. The myriad god waved his hand and put away the dry bones devouring soul. Hoo. The heavenly human tribe's God Emperor panted heavily, as if a heavy burden had been lifted from his shoulders. Ha, use whatever means you have. I won't say anything. Not a single word. Ha. Then, this person laughed loudly. There's no need for you to say that. There are still a dozen people here. Lu Ming curled his lips and looked at the dozen 9th-layer God Emperors. The heavenly human tribe's God Emperor's expression changed. He looked at the God Emperors and roared, "If you dare, bang." Before he could finish his sentence, Lu Ming had already stepped on this person's head. Violent energy exploded, and the first-layer God Emperor's head exploded like a watermelon. The universe bridge inside was also destroyed. A God Emperor had been killed just like that. When Lu Ming killed the man, he quickly scanned the dozen elders who were at the 9th level of the Great God Realm. The expressions of the elders at the 9th level of the Great God Realm changed drastically. However, a few of them looked terrified and Lu Ming noticed it clearly. Lu Ming nodded. He knew what was going on. These heavenly human tribes' elders were quite old. They had lived for a long time and had experienced many things. They were mentally tough. If he wanted to get something out of them, he had to think carefully. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Xian Yanqing and the rest. He wanted to interrogate these few people who had revealed looks of fear at the end. Then, Lu Ming walked to an elder of the 9th layer God Emperors. The Heavenly Human Tribe's elder's expression changed slightly when he saw Lu Ming kill the Heavenly Human Tribe's God Emperor. However, his expression didn't change much. He looked as if he was ready to die. Speak. Why would your Heavenly Human clan appear here? Are you attracted by the fragments of the Life Spirit Primordial Stone? When did you come? How many of you are here? Lu Ming repeated the question that he had asked earlier. Don't even think about it. The Heavenly Human Tribe would rather die than surrender. We won't say a single word, the elder shouted. Bang! Lu Ming hit the elder with the Bingxian staff and destroyed his body and soul. Then, he immediately looked at the next elder of the Heavenly Human Tribe and said, You say it. The elder's lips trembled. He looked hesitant, but in the end, he gritted his teeth and said, Kill me if you want to. Don't even think about it. Bang! The Bingxian staff hit the elder and he died. Then, he walked to the 3rd elder of the Heavenly Human Tribe. Bang! 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 Then, Lu Ming killed 3 more people in a row. He was very decisive. As long as the elder said no, he would kill him with one move. Sure enough, this person was ruthless and swift. This caused the remaining Heavenly Human Clan elders to all reveal expressions of fear. This was especially true for the few old men who had previously revealed looks of fear. At this moment, they were already filled with intense fear. I'll talk. Finally, one of the elders of the Heavenly Human Tribe shouted. The last line of defense in his heart was broken by Lu Ming. Chapter 4463. Oh, go ahead. Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile as he looked at the Heavenly Human Elder. I'll tell you, but you have to promise to spare my life. The elder from the Heavenly Human Tribe said. He was scared. He was really scared. If he had died in a battle, he would not have been afraid. However, if he had to wait for death, he was really scared. Okay, I'll let him go as long as he answers one of my questions in detail. If he's satisfied with your answer, I'll let him go. Lu Ming said. Really? The elder from the Heavenly Human Tribe's eyes lit up. Of course. The first question is, why did the Heavenly Human Tribe come here? Lu Ming said. Master brought us here. His name is Yi Wu and he's a peerless genius from the Heavenly Human Tribe. Although he's not young or in his prime, he's a peerless genius from the previous 2 eras. He said that he found the legendary Life Spirit Heavenly Court and brought us here to look for opportunities. The elder quickly replied. Then, he looked at Lu Ming hopefully and said, I've already answered one question. Can you let me go now? Of course. I'm a man of my word. Let's go. Lu Ming said. The elder was a little skeptical, but in the end, he gritted his teeth and ran away. Lu Ming and the others did not attack him. They let him go. He was just a cultivator of the 9th Great God Realm. It was not a big deal to let him go. Moreover, he had betrayed the Heavenly Human Tribe by revealing their secret. That was a serious crime. Therefore, even if he went back, he would not tell anyone about the situation here. Letting him go would give the others hope. Then, it would be easier for them to ask questions later. As expected, when the others saw that they could live if the elder answered one question, they collapsed. Their desire to live surpassed everything else. I'll tell you too. I'll tell you too. Ask me, I'll tell you everything. The others began to cry out one after another. They had thought that they were going to die, but now they saw a chance to live. Naturally, they were tempted. Very good. Tell me, how did you come here? Were you attracted by the fragments of the Life Spirit Primordial Stone? Lu Ming said. I don't know if we were attracted by the Vitality Stone because Master Yi Wu didn't tell us. Maybe our levels are too low. A Divine Master might know. I only know that this is the Life Spirit Heavenly Court and there are great opportunities here. That person replied. Lu Ming frowned. He was not satisfied with this answer. Asking was as good as not asking. When the man saw Lu Ming frown, he immediately panicked and shouted, This question, I really only know this much. Why don't you change the question? I will definitely tell you in detail. Very well. How many people have come from your heavenly human tribe? What are their cultivation levels? Tell me. Lu Ming said. This time, Lord Yi Wu has brought close to 300 people with him. There should be more than 20 divine lords, most of whom are at the first or second layer of the divine lord realm, but there are definitely some who are stronger. My level is too low, so I don't know what the cultivation levels of those who are stronger are. I'm telling the truth. They don't know either. The person hurriedly replied. Beside him, the others also nodded. More than 20 divine lord realm existences, more than 300 people. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Qiu Moon, and Wan Shen all wore grave expressions. Even a second-level divine master wasn't someone they could deal with, let alone someone even stronger than that. All right, you can go now. Lu Ming waved his hand. The person was overjoyed. He quickly got up and rushed into the distance, disappearing into the fog in the blink of an eye. Then, Lu Ming asked the next person, "Where are Lord Yi Wu and those stronger experts that you mentioned?" They had to know this so that they could guard against them and avoid them. The Life Spirit Heavenly Court is too big. It's hard to describe its exact location. I only know that they're in an ancient place. There must be some important treasures there, but they need Life Spirit stones to open it. Not just one or two pieces, but many. That's why Lord Yi Wu sent us to different places to hunt down experts who have Life Spirit stones and give them to him, the person answered. How did he know that someone with a piece of the natal spirit stone would come here? Lu Ming continued to ask. They had just arrived not long ago, and Lord Yi Wu must be very far away. They did not sense the vitality stone fragments. How did Lord Yi Wu know that they had come here with the fragments of the natal spirit stone? Did he encounter other existences with vitality stone fragments? I don't know about that. My rank is too low, and Lord Yi Wu won't tell us many secrets, the person said, looking at Lu Ming uneasily. He was afraid that he would be killed by Lu Ming if he was not satisfied with his answer. You can go now. Lu Ming waved his hand. The person was overjoyed and hurriedly left. There were still 4 heavenly human tribe elders present. They looked at Lu Ming hopefully, hoping to answer Lu Ming's question and get a chance to live. Tell me in detail about the Life Spirit Heavenly Court. Is it dangerous? What's with the fog? Lu Ming asked. This fog will automatically disappear after 7 days. After that, it will appear again after a period of time. It will continue to deteriorate. Furthermore, there are no other dangers here. One of the heavenly human tribe elders told him everything he knew in detail. After hearing this, Lu Ming and the others finally understood a lot about the Life Spirit Heavenly Court. When did you come here? Lu Ming asked the next person. I came here 3,000 years ago. A heavenly human tribe patriarch answered. 3,000 years ago? Lu Ming and the others were shocked. These heavenly human tribe members had come 3,000 years ago. No wonder they did not know them and did not know about Taishang Immortal City. They would be shocked by their cultivation. These heavenly human tribe members had come 3,000 years ago, but they had only come recently. That Xiao Chuha must be the same as them, having just arrived recently. What was going on? Did something happen in the Life Spirit Heavenly Court that caused the Vitality Stone fragments to act strangely? Was that why they were brought here? Did this have something to do with Yi Wu? According to these heavenly human tribe members, Yi Wu had only sent his subordinates to hunt down people with Vitality Stone fragments not long ago. Apparently, Yi Wu knew they were here. At this moment, Lu Ming and the others thought of many things and had many questions in their minds. Unfortunately, these celestial race cultivators' levels were too low. They were like soy sauce characters, so they didn't know much. If they were divine lords, they would definitely know more. Unfortunately, the 2 divine lords they had captured were too stubborn and could not open their mouths. Chapter 44-64. After that, Lu Ming asked the remaining heavenly human tribe elders a few more questions and obtained some unimportant information. Then he let them all go. After letting those people go, Lu Ming and the other 3 left as well. They found another place to let the rock spirit devour Xiao Chuha's soul stone piece. In this way, the life soul primordial stone fragment in Lu Ming's hand could be considered a fusion of 3 fragments. This made the vitality stone spirit very excited. Even its memories were more complete. It could remember a few secrets of the life spirit palace. Unfortunately, It still had no impression of the life-spirit heavenly court or this ancient city. However, there were always benefits to fusing with more life-spirit vitality stone fragments. Although they hadn't gained much in the life-soul heavenly court, they still hadn't gained much. But one thing was for sure. There was definitely a treasure in the life-spirit heavenly court. This was because Yi Wu of the heavenly human tribe was about to open an ancient ruin and needed more fragments of the natal spirit stone. Perhaps there were other similar historical sites. Also, were the other 3 treasures of the life-spirit heavenly court also in this ancient city? The group of 4 continued to move through the mists, advancing carefully. Along the way, they also sensed the aura of the celestial clan, so they avoided them ahead of time. Just like that, 7 days of fog passed. When the 8th day arrived, the fog in the world quickly dissipated, and the world regained its clarity. When the fog dissipated, Lu Ming's group of 4 hid in an intact building. To them, the absence of the fog was more dangerous than the presence of the fog. It was because the Celestial Clan's experts could move out without any restraint. They could target them even from far away. Once he encountered an expert above the 2nd layer of the Divine Master Realm, he would not be able to shake them off. They decided not to take action when there was no fog. They would only take action when there was fog. Although the speed was much slower when the fog rose, they had plenty of time, didn't they? He's here. In less than half a day, Lu Ming suddenly whispered. The 4 of them retracted their auras to the extreme. They were like stones, using the buildings as support to look outside. Swish! Swish! In the sky, there was the sound of air being torn apart. One figure after another appeared. Their eyes were like lightning as they scanned their surroundings. It was precisely the celestial race. There was no lack of divine masters among them. At the same time, their spiritual senses kept scanning the area. Under Xian Yanqing's sky demon domain, Lu Ming's group of 4 was completely isolated from the outside world's spiritual senses. Xian Yanqing had the memories of his previous life and had many tricks up his sleeve. It wasn't difficult for him to block the probing of other people's spiritual senses. The heavenly humans scanned the area, but they did not discover anything. They then left in a flash. Lu Ming and the other 3 stayed in the building, cultivating and waiting at the same time. Especially Xian Yanqing needed some time to cultivate. Because Xian Yanqing's cultivation had long reached the peak of the God-Emperor realm, he could already break through to the Divine Master realm. Divine Masters SSS Divine Master. If she could break through to the Divine Master realm, her battle prowess would skyrocket, which would be of great benefit to them. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days had passed. During these dozen or so days, they had discovered at least 3 groups of Celestial Clan cultivators. They had investigated this place, so they naturally didn't discover them. Half a month later, fog began to appear again. Soon, the entire ancient city was shrouded in thick fog. Let's go! Lu Ming's group of 4 began to move again. They charged into the fog, heading toward the center of the ancient city. Nothing unusual happened for the first 2 days. On the 3rd day, they encountered a group of celestial race cultivators. This group of celestial race cultivators had a 2nd-level divine master. Lu Ming's group was no match for them, so they turned and fled. Finally, they managed to shake off the celestial race cultivators with the help of the fog. Careful! After shaking off the members of the heavenly human clan, Lu Ming suddenly shouted softly. This was because he sensed a terrifying crisis descending in that instant. At this critical moment, forbidden energy erupted, turning into a ribbon that wrapped around Xian Yanqing, Qiu Moon, and Wan Shen, forcing them to retreat. Swish! 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 Several terrifying bursts of energy descended from the sky, landing where Lu Ming's group had been standing. They struck the ground, creating several craters. Above us! Xian Yanqing roared as the celestial demon domain erupted. Black lotuses appeared in the domain and soared into the sky. Swish! 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 Above them, the fog churned and the terrifying energy howled as a bony claw swiped at them. This attack was simply too fast. From the sneak attack to the 2nd wave of attacks, there was no gap in between. It was so fast that Lu Ming could not even take out the Bingxian rod to block it. Heaven-cleaving style. At this critical moment, Lu Ming could only use the heaven-cleaving style. Spear energy poured out of his pores as his body transformed into a spear and soared into the sky. Qiu Moon and Wan Shen hurriedly used all their strength to block this attack. The attacks of the four people collided with the bony claws. With several explosions, Lu Ming's group of four shuddered. They felt a mountain-toppling pressure from the bony claw, and their bodies slammed into the ground like meteors. Plash! Xueqi Moon was the weakest, so she couldn't help but vomit blood. What a powerful attack! Xian Yanqing's expression turned grave. This bony claw's attack was equivalent to a second-level godlord's attack. However, the fog made it difficult for them to sense the opponent's cultivation. They only knew that this attack was extremely powerful. And it's not from the celestial race. Lu Ming said. The celestial race controlled the power of the heavens. And the attack just now was definitely not the power of the heavens, but the divine power cultivated by the various races of the universe. Who is it? Get out here! Wan Shen roared like a frenzied lion. But the only response they received was another bony claw swiping at them from above. At the same time, the sound of air being torn came from all directions. Because the fog obstructed their vision, they couldn't see what was attacking them, but they were sure that this attack was no small matter. Profound Ice Staff. The profound ice staff appeared in Lu Ming's hand. With a shout, he poured his forbidden energy into the profound ice staff. The profound ice staff rapidly expanded as it swung at the bony claw. Boom! There was a loud roar and the Bingxian rod vibrated violently, causing Lu Ming to retreat continuously. However, the bone claw was also blocked. Moreover, there was a gush of icy coldness covering the bone claw and spreading rapidly. At the same time that Lu Ming attacked, Xian Yanqing's group also attacked, taking out their trump cards. However, they ignored the bony claw above them and focused on dealing with the attacks coming from all directions. Only when they got closer did they realize that the attacks coming from all directions were bone swords. The bone swords were sharp and contained terrifying energy. They constantly clashed with Xian Yanqing's group, suppressing Xian Yanqing's group. Even after using their trump cards, they were still no match. Chapter 4465. Break out of the encirclement. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Xian Yanqing, Xueqi Moon, and Wan Shen. Then, the four of them gathered together and suddenly rushed in one direction. With the combined strength of the four of them, they finally shattered a few bone swords. Then they used their movement techniques and ran quickly. After a few exchanges, they understood that the person who attacked them was very strong. Even if they used all their strength, they were definitely not a match for him. As they ran, the person who secretly attacked them chased them relentlessly. Bone swords flew through the air. At the same time, the giant white bone claw in the air condensed again. It emitted a terrifying aura and grabbed at Lu Ming and the others. Break! Lu Ming shouted. He waved the obsidian staff and continued to attack the white bone claw. He blocked the white bone claw's attack. He used the force of this attack to rush forward. At the same time, he swept up Xian Yanqing and the others and accelerated forward. At the same time, Xian Yanqing activated the heavenly demon territory to envelop a large area of defense. No matter how the other party hid, they would be enveloped by the heavenly demon territory and be greatly restricted. Lu Ming and the others took the opportunity to run forward. It was not convenient to chase in the thick fog, but it was convenient to escape. It did not take long for Lu Ming and the others to successfully shake off the other party. However, the four of them had a grave expression. Lu Ming, who do you think attacked us? If it's not the heavenly human tribe, who else could it be? Wan Shen said. It seems that other than the heavenly human tribe who wants the vitality stone fragments, there are also some other people who want to seize others' vitality stone fragments. Lu Ming said. Xian Yanqing and the rest understood that Lu Ming was referring to someone like them, someone who also had fragments of the primordial stone. Now, there were only two kinds of people in this ancient city. The first kind was the heavenly human tribe. The second kind was like them, people who had vitality stone fragments and were brought in by the vitality stone fragments. And the person who had attacked them was likely someone like them, someone who possessed a fragment of a life soul essence stone. They had been brought in by the fragment. Someone wanted to take advantage of the situation to rob others of their life spirit vitality stones. The life spirit vitality stone shards only chose top geniuses, but it did not mean that they were all from the younger generation. It was very likely that he was a prodigy of the previous generation. If it was those older geniuses, then their cultivation levels were very likely to have stepped into the Divine Master Realm long ago. In a battle between peers, Lu Ming and the others naturally did not fear anyone. However, it was hard to say when it came to fighting across generations. It seemed like the ancient city was getting more and more dangerous. Not only did they have to guard against the heavenly human tribe, but they also had to guard against the other owners of the life spirit source stone fragments. However, they couldn't stay where they were. Even if they were not looking for treasures, they would still have to make a move in order to get out. If they didn't move when the fog was thick, when the fog receded, there would be celestial race experts everywhere. It would be even more difficult to move. Therefore, Lu Ming's group of 4 did not stop and continued to move forward according to the original plan. Not long after, they made another discovery. They saw a corpse in an alley. It was a blood-red bat with golden wings. A member of the blood tribe. It was obvious that this was a blood tribe expert. However, this blood tribe expert's forehead was pierced by a sword light. Killed with a single sword strike. This member of the blood race is a first-level divine master. Xian Yanqing carefully sized up this person and determined this person's cultivation level based on the remnant aura on his body. Moreover, he wasn't killed by the heavenly human tribe. Lu Ming continued. This blood tribe expert had clearly been killed not long ago. There were still remnants of energy in his wounds that had not dissipated. That energy was clearly not the power of the heavens. Could he have been killed by the existence that attacked them earlier? This blood tribe expert was very likely the owner of the life spirit source stone fragment. That was why he was killed. The soul spirit source stone fragment on him had obviously been taken away. How many people have come this time? The myriad gods whispered. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and the others did not speak. Their brows were tightly knitted. Lu Ming found it difficult to answer this question. He did not know how many fragments the life spirit source stone had shattered into. A dozen pieces? A few dozen? Apart from the heavenly human tribe, how many people had come this time? Were there any extremely terrifying existences? It felt more and more dangerous in this ancient city. There were murderous intents everywhere. Let's go, Lu Ming said. Since they were already here, they could only give it a try no matter what. The 4 of them continued forward. The next day was calm and peaceful. They did not encounter any danger. However, one day later, there's someone ahead. Suddenly, Lu Ming and the others stopped. This was because they felt that there was someone ahead. Moreover, the person was very close to them, just 1,000 meters away. 1,000 meters away was already beyond the range of their eyesight and spiritual senses. However, a distance of 1,000 meters was too short for them. If they attacked, 1,000 meters would be covered in an instant. There was no difference between 1,000 meters and 1 meter. It could be said that this was a very dangerous distance. Once they attacked, it would be difficult to react in time. Fortunately, the other party did not attack. They seemed to have stopped there and did not move. The atmosphere seemed to have frozen. Lu Ming and the others channeled their power and set up layers of defense around their bodies, ready to attack at any time. Swoosh! Suddenly, there was a sharp sound in front of them. It was piercing toward them. At the same time, there was a cold aura rushing toward them at an astonishing speed. Kill! Lu Ming shouted softly, and the Bingxian staff suddenly enlarged and pressed forward like a mountain. Clang! The Bingxian staff collided with a battle sword. The battle sword vibrated violently and flew back. This sword, Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. This battle sword was rusty and looked very old. This was a great killing weapon. A source-level divine weapon. More importantly, Lu Ming recognized this rusty battle sword. This was Di Jenny's sword. He had fought with Di Jenny before. Di Jenny's great killing weapon was this rusty battle sword. Whoosh! 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 At this moment, a black hole suddenly appeared in the sky. The black hole kept spinning and exploded with a terrifying devouring power. Even the surrounding fog was devoured by the black hole. The surrounding vision suddenly became clearer. It was not a black hole but a flower. Sky-devouring rose flower. Dark night rose, it's you! Xian Yanqing's demonic aura spread out. A huge figure appeared around her and pressed its hands toward the black hole. Rumble! The black hole shook violently and the devouring power was also decreasing. Lu Ming, it's you! Xian Yanqing, it's you! A few figures appeared in succession. So it's you. Die, kill! Wan Shun roared and his divine power erupted. His body became huge and burly as he controlled more than a dozen origin source secret techniques and attacked in a direction. Over there, the dark aura was extremely dense. A figure turned into dark aura and turned into various demons, ghosts, and skeletons to resist with all his might. That was Yin Jiuling. Chapter 4466. Boom. On the other side, Autumn Moon brandished his saber and exchanged blows with someone. That person was enveloped in flames. Every move he made caused a strong gust of wind and exuded a terrifyingly high temperature. The aura of the origin ancient word, that's Lingheng. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. The person who was exchanging blows with Autumn Moon was actually the #1 exceptional genius on the universe prodigy list, Lingheng. Lingheng had actually walked together with Anya Rose and the others. Swoosh. In front of him, the iron sword flew over and slashed towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold as he shouted, "Di Jenny, today, I will completely suppress you." Just as his voice fell, Lu Ming took a step forward and charged out like lightning. At the same time, the mysterious Bingxian rod struck down. When the huge mysterious Bingxian rod pressed down, the fog rolled and the void shook. Lu Ming finally saw the figure in front of him clearly. If it wasn't Di Jenny, who else could it be? Di Jenny was controlling the rusty saber. Dang! The saber and rod clashed again and there was a shocking explosion. However, Di Jenny's fighting power was originally 2 stars lower than Lu Ming's. Although the rusty saber that he controlled was also an origin-level weapon, it still couldn't be compared to the mysterious Bingxian rod. Hence, he wasn't Lu Ming's opponent at all. The saber and rod clashed and the rusty saber was sent flying. Di Jenny's body shook and he retreated. He coughed out blood and was severely injured. Di Jenny. Anya Rose shouted and waved her hand. A saber flew towards Lu Ming. The saber quickly enlarged and slashed out, cutting through the void. Hall Guardian Weapon. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Back then, he, Ling Yue, Anya Rose, Di Jenny, and Xiao Wuji had explored one of the 9 Life Spirit Halls. In the Life Spirit Hall, they had discovered 2 Hall Guardian weapons. One of them was the mysterious Bingxian rod, which had landed in Lu Ming's hands. The other one was a saber that had landed in Anya Rose's hands. Obviously, it was this one. Lu Ming waved his hand and the mysterious ice rod blasted out, clashing with the warblade. With a clang, the battle saber was blocked. However, Lu Ming's body also swayed slightly. What power! This Dark Knight Rose is indeed someone who has lived a lifetime. The power she can bring out when controlling the divine weapon is clearly stronger than mine. Lu Ming pondered. Dark Knight Rose was a reincarnated person. In her previous life, she was Xian Yanqing's pet. However, according to what Xian Yanqing had said, Xian Yanqing had been at reciprocity in his past life. The Dark Knight Rose had been at reciprocity as well. They had the experience of reaching Origin Realm, so they were naturally more powerful when controlling divine weapons of the same level. Dark Knight Rose, your opponent is me, Xian Yanqing shouted. A huge lotus flower pressed down on Dark Knight Rose. Dark Knight Rose could only recall her saber to resist. However, how could Dark Knight Rose and the others be a match for Lu Ming and the others? They were all at a disadvantage. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, we just have different ideologies. There is no big grudge between us. Why did you sneak attack us before? Dark Knight Rose shouted. Nonsense, it was you who sneak attacked us just now. Before Lu Ming could answer, the Pantheon god roared and kept attacking like a storm. Yin Jiuling kept flashing and could only dodge with all his might. However, he was still injured by the powerful force of the Pantheon god. We attacked you? It's a misunderstanding. Stop, this is a misunderstanding. Dark Knight Rose shouted and retreated quickly. However, Xian Yanqing controlled the lotus to continue attacking. Shao Qing, wait a minute. Lu Ming shouted. Xian Yanqing stopped and recalled the lotus, but he still stared at Dark Knight Rose. Autumn Moon, myriad gods, stop. Lu Ming shouted again. Then, everyone followed Lu Ming's lead. When Lu Ming asked them to stop, Autumn Moon and myriad gods naturally stopped. Yin Jiuling, Ling Heng, and Di Jenny quickly came to Dark Knight Rose's side. Lu Ming realized that besides Yin Jiuling, Ling Heng, and Di Jenny, there were a few other young men and women. There were 4 other people who came to Dark Knight Rose's side. Xiao Wuji. Lu Ming saw Xiao Wuji at first glance. In the past, when Lu Ming's cultivation was still weak, Xiao Wuji had fought with Lu Ming. But then, Xiao Wuji's combat power was far behind Lu Ming's. Although Xiao Wuji had awakened the King Azura bloodline at the beginning, he had had many fortuitous encounters and had received guidance from Dark Knight Rose. But his current combat power was 10 stars. Lu Ming had seen Xiao Wuji in the Battle of the Origin in Taishang Immortal City. However, Xiao Wuji, who had 10 stars of combat power, was nothing in Lu Ming's eyes. Xiao Wuji didn't even make it to the end before he was defeated and didn't fight with Lu Ming. But then, Xiao Wuji looked pale and dispirited. He seemed to be injured. Not only him, but the other 3 young men and women were also injured. 2 of them are top geniuses on the Universe Prodigy list. Dark Knight Rose's methods are really shocking, Lu Ming exclaimed in his heart. As for the other 3 young men and women, Lu Ming had seen 2 of them before. They were top geniuses on the Universe Prodigy list and were very powerful. But now they had joined Dark Knight Rose. Dark Knight Rose had created Xueqi Alliance back then to network all the heroes in the world and build a force that was comparable to the Heavenly Palace. Back then, Lu Ming had scoffed. But now, he couldn't help but admire Dark Knight Rose's methods. Up until now, the number of geniuses that Dark Knight Rose had recruited was already very shocking. These were top geniuses. In the future, even if Xueqi Alliance couldn't compare to the Heavenly Palace, it could at least become a powerful force in the primitive universe. Dark Knight Rose, you said it was a misunderstanding. Tell me, what misunderstanding is it? Xian Yanqing said coldly. You said that we attacked you. This is a misunderstanding. We didn't attack you. We were attacked ourselves. Previously, I thought that you were secretly attacking us? Dark Knight Rose said. You think we didn't attack you just because you said so? Wan Shen said unhappily. Then I would like to ask, how is the combat power of the people who attacked you? Do we have the combat power to do so? Dark Knight Rose said. Her words made Wan Shen's expression freeze. Indeed, the people who attacked them previously were very powerful. The 4 of them together weren't a match for them. Dark Knight Rose and the others obviously didn't have the strength. If I'm not wrong, the people who attacked you are stronger than us. Similarly, the people who attacked us previously are stronger than you. If I didn't use a special method, I'm afraid we wouldn't have been able to escape. Dark Knight Rose said. Looks like it's really a misunderstanding. Lu Ming smiled. In fact, he had thought of this when they exchanged blows earlier. That was why he had asked Xian Yanqing, Autumn Moon, and Wan Shen to stop. But just now, you were the ones who attacked first. The myriad god said with some displeasure. Chapter 4467. In fact, Di Jenny had already believed the other party's words. Although he looked boorish, he was not reckless. Instead, he was very meticulous and could naturally figure it out. However, Di Jenny was the one who had attacked first, which made him very unhappy. That's why I said it's a misunderstanding. Just now, we felt that someone was watching us in the dark. We were afraid that the person who attacked us would catch up with us, so we took the initiative to attack. Anya Rose explained. Previously, the atmosphere was indeed very tense. Both of them had been attacked in the dark. Hence, when they sensed that there was someone in the dark, they instinctively felt that it was dangerous and that someone had ill intentions towards them. When one party attacked, it naturally led to a huge battle. Hee hee. Wan Shen chuckled unhappily. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, why don't we work together? Anya Rose suddenly turned her gaze and said, Work together? Lu Ming's eyes flickered. That's right. I guess you guys have also been attacked by the Heavenly Human Tribe. In this ancient city, the Heavenly Human Tribe is undoubtedly the strongest. The Heavenly Human Tribe wants to kill us and take our Vitality Stone fragments. We are definitely no match for the Heavenly Human Tribe alone. Only by working together can we contend against the Heavenly Human Tribe. Anya Rose said. Even if we work together, we can't contend against the Heavenly Human Tribe with just the 2 of us. Lu Ming said. Although we can't contend against them, we have a higher chance of success. If we encounter the Heavenly Human Tribe, it will be less dangerous. Moreover, we can work together with more people. This time, all of the people who have Vitality Stone fragments have gathered together. We can all work together. As far as I know, some of them have already joined forces. There is no lack of divine masters among them. As long as we work together, we may be able to contend against the Heavenly Human Tribe. Anya Rose said. One had to admit that this woman was indeed very scheming. Although they were both reincarnated, Xian Yanqing was far less scheming than Anya Rose. What do you guys think? Lu Ming looked at Xian Yanqing, Autumn Moon, and Wan Shen. Lu Ming, you make the decision. Xian Yanqing said. I'll listen to young master. Autumn Moon nodded repeatedly. Lu Ming, you've always been resourceful. You make the decision, and I'll follow suit. Haha. The myriad god laughed. Seeing this, Dark Knight Rose was very envious. She intended to gather all the heroes in the world to create the Xueqi Alliance. Although she had successfully recruited a group of top geniuses, no matter how talented they were, how could they compare to Lu Ming and the others? Putting Lu Ming aside for now, Xian Yanqing and Wan Shen both had 12-star battle prowess. In the Xueqi Alliance, only she, as the alliance leader, had such combat power. As for the weakest, Autumn Moon, she had a 9-aperture sacred heart and possessed 11 stars of battle prowess. Her potential was enormous. It would be great if these people could join the Xueqi Alliance and become her people. Of course, she could only think about it. All right, I promise you. Lu Ming nodded, agreeing to Dark Knight Rose's request. He had made this decision after careful consideration. If they did not cooperate, it would indeed be very inconvenient for the four of them to move around in the ancient city. Firstly, they had to guard against the heavenly human tribe, and secondly, they had to guard against other people's sneak attacks. It could be said that it was difficult to move an inch. It was not easy to stay alive, let alone obtain any treasures. However, if they cooperated with more people, the situation would at least not worsen. Therefore, Lu Ming agreed to cooperate. All right, then let's leave this place quickly. I happen to know where some people are. We can go and find them. Dark Knight Rose. Immediately, Lu Ming's group of 4 and Dark Knight Rose's group left this place. Dark Knight Rose led the way and flew in a direction. Of course, it was impossible for Lu Ming and the others to completely trust Dark Knight Rose and the others. It was not that easy. Similarly, Dark Knight Rose and the others could not completely trust Lu Ming and the others. On the surface, the two sides were cooperating, but they were still wary of each other. In the blink of an eye, a few days had passed. Although they had encountered the heavenly human tribe in the past few days, they had avoided them in advance. In addition, they did not encounter any attacks from other people. It seemed that after they joined forces, the other party was also afraid of their strength. After a few days, the fog dissipated. They did not move forward anymore, but found a hidden place to stay. They would wait for the fog to reappear half a month later before continuing their journey. After a few days, Di Jenny, Xiao Wuji and the others had recovered from their injuries. They were all seizing the time to cultivate. The people here had reached the peak of the 9th layer of the Divine Lord Realm. The next step was to break through to the Divine Lord Realm. They were all preparing to break through to the Divine Lord Realm. Especially Dark Knight Rose and Xian Yanqing, who were the closest to the Divine Lord Realm. They were cultivating all the time, preparing to break through to the Divine Lord Realm. 15 days passed in the blink of an eye. Then, the fog rose again. Lu Ming and the others set off again, moving forward with the help of the fog. After a few days, they arrived at a place full of rocks. The Life Spirit Heavenly Court was too big. It was even bigger than the Dragon Tribe's mother planet. Naturally, it was not all kinds of buildings. There were many other complicated terrains. For example, this area was full of rocks. These rocks were tall and majestic. Some were like mountains, some were like sharp swords, and some were even like various living beings. These rocks seem to have formed some kind of formation, Xian Yanqing whispered. It has indeed formed some kind of formation. It's easy to get lost. But it shouldn't be difficult for us to get in and out, Dark Knight Rose said to Xian Yanqing. After all, they were experts of the origin realm in their previous lives. They were experienced and knowledgeable. This kind of formation formed by rocks was not particularly profound. It could not trap them. There are some people in these rocks. Let's go in, Dark Knight Rose said. After saying that, she rushed into the rocks first. Di Jenny, Yin Jioling, Ling Heng, Xiao Wuji and the others followed closely behind. Let's go too, Lu Ming said and followed them into the rocks. As soon as they entered the rocks, the surrounding rocks seemed to move on their own. But when they looked closely, they did not seem to move. However, Lu Ming found that the terrain had changed. The surroundings seemed to be full of rocks and it was difficult to distinguish the direction. It's really a formation. But this formation is not profound. Lu Ming was also proficient in formations in the past. Although he had fallen behind in these years, his foundation was still there. After careful observation, he found something fishy. However, Dark Knight Rose and Xian Yanqing found it earlier. They took the lead and moved in one direction. 2 hours later. Who are you? Stand there. If you continue to move forward, we will attack. Suddenly, a cold voice sounded out. Everyone, don't misunderstand. We also have the fragments of the Life Spirit Vitality Stone. We want to cooperate with you to fight against the heavenly human tribe together. Dark Knight Rose said hurriedly. It's you, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Dark Knight Rose, Wan Shen. Suddenly, there were a few exclamations. Obviously, someone recognized Lu Ming and the others. Chapter 4468. Someone recognized Lu Ming and the others and exclaimed in shock. Now, only the heavenly human tribe in this ancient city would not recognize Lu Ming and the others since they had been cooped up in one place for thousands of years. It would be hard not to recognize Lu Ming and the others if they had Dream Sacred Jade in a bigger place. Of course, it would be a different story if they did not have Dream Sacred Jade in places like the Taishu dynasty. As a few shocked voices rang out, a figure flashed, and a dozen figures appeared in the surrounding rubble. Among them, there were 5 young people. The rest were either middle-aged or elderly. Lu Ming and the others were not surprised. It was impossible for all of them to have Life Spirit Vitality Stone fragments. It was possible that only the young ones had them, and the older ones did not. They just happened to come in together. For example, Xian Yanqing, Qiu Yu, and Wan Shen did not have Life Spirit Vitality Stone fragments. They had come in like Lu Ming. It was the same for the others. For example, Anya Rose and the others did not have Life Spirit Vitality Stone fragments. In fact, only Anya Rose, Di Jenny, and Xiao Wuji had Life Spirit Vitality Stone fragments. The others were brought in by Anya Rose, mainly for opportunities. These few people. Lu Ming looked around and realized that there were a few young people who were on the Universe Prodigy list. They were ranked very high. One of them was even in the top 10 of the Universe Prodigy list. Everyone, how about we work together? Anya Rose asked again. You were attacked by the heavenly human tribe too? Asked one of the young people. His name was Bei Ao, and he was ranked 5th on the Universe Prodigy list. He was an absolute demon with a battle power of 10 stars. That's right. The heavenly human tribe came 3,000 years ago, and there are many of them. As far as I know, there are more than 20 almighty beings. Now, they are hunting people who have Life Spirit Vitality Stone fragments. If we don't work together, we will be defeated one by one and be robbed of our Life Spirit Vitality Stone fragments, Anya Rose said. Dark Knight Rose said, wanting to facilitate this cooperation. In fact, Dark Knight Rose didn't care about these young men at all. The strongest among them was Bei Ao, who only had a battle prowess of 10 stars. He was not enough to be defeated by her with a single slap. She was only interested in the older ones. These people were most likely the elders or subordinates of those young men. Their auras were astonishing, and no less than 5 of them had reached the Divine Master Realm. With the addition of these people, their strength would definitely increase greatly. All right, I agree to cooperate. What about you? Bei Ao said as he looked at the other young men. I have no objections. Now it seems that we can only deal with the heavenly human tribe by working together. The other young men nodded in agreement. Since both sides had no objections, they naturally hit it off and quickly reached an agreement. Then, it was time to discuss the details. In the end, everyone decided to find more people to work with. It would be best to gather all the people who had fragments of vitality stones together to fight against the heavenly human tribe. At the same time, they would work together to find the ancient ruins in the heavenly court. As long as they had enough people working with them, they would have enough Life Spirit Vitality Stone fragments in their hands. At that time, if they encountered something similar to what the heavenly human tribe encountered and needed enough Life Spirit Vitality Stone fragments to open, they would be able to open it directly. As for the treasures inside, it would depend on their own abilities. After discussing, they planned to send people to the vicinity of this rocky area. As long as they saw living beings who were not from the heavenly human tribe passing by, they would pull them over to cooperate. Of course, their base camp was still in this rocky area. This rocky area formed a formation. Once the heavenly human tribe attacked, they could use the formation here to easily escape. Even if the fog dissipated, they could still escape. If there was no fog in other places, once they were surrounded by the heavenly human tribe, it would be difficult to escape. Lu Ming, Anya Rose, and the others first familiarized themselves with the operation of the formation in this rocky area. After a few days, when they were completely familiar with it, Lu Ming and the others scattered around the rocky area and waited for others to pass by. As for looking for people to cooperate with, it was too unrealistic and too dangerous. They could only wait in the vicinity. They cultivated and waited at the same time. When there was no fog, the heavenly human tribe would also come to this area to investigate. However, once they sensed the heavenly human tribe approaching, they would hide in advance. Therefore, the heavenly human tribe would fail every time. Just like that, time flew by. Soon, Lu Ming and the others had been in this area for more than half a year. In this more than half a year, their team grew stronger and stronger. Now, there were almost 50 people in total. Of course, there were only a dozen people who actually had fragments of vitality stones. The rest of the people had followed along. Among them, there were as many as 10 divine masters. This gave them a lot of confidence. Among the 10 divine masters, the strongest was a second-level divine master. There were a total of 3 second-level divine masters. This was also the reason why their team could exist. There was no imbalance in strength. If one of them was especially strong, such as a third-level divine master, it would be very difficult for them to cooperate. It was very likely that the third-level divine master would directly attack the others and steal their fragments of vitality stones. 3 second-level divine masters and 7 first-level divine masters could form a restriction. Only by cooperating could they achieve success. At this time, the group decided to leave this rocky area. They were going to look for opportunities in the Life Soul Heavenly Court. This was the Life Soul Heavenly Court. Everyone was tempted. If they could find one of the 3 legendary treasures of the Life Soul Heavenly Court, they might be able to soar. This was especially true for the weaker geniuses, such as Bei Ao, who were even more excited. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Anya Rose, and the others were now looking down on the younger generation of the primitive universe. They were envious, jealous, and even more eager to obtain the treasures of the Life Soul Heavenly Court. Once they obtained them, they might surpass Lu Ming and the others. They could look down on the primitive universe and suppress an era. The group chose to leave the rocky area during a period of fog and headed toward the center of the Life Soul Heavenly Court. The more people there were, the braver they became. They sped up. Nearly 50 figures flashed forward in the fog. Ah! Suddenly, a scream rang out. Damn it, it's the heavenly human tribe. Friends, kill them. Kill them all. A loud roar came from the front left. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and the others heard the roar and immediately rushed toward the front left. According to the agreement, no matter who was attacked by the heavenly human tribe, the others had to go and help. However, when Lu Ming and the others arrived, there was no need for them to do anything. This was because the dozen or so heavenly human tribe members had been surrounded. At this time, the heavenly human tribe members were pale. They looked at the 50 people around them in a daze. Chapter 4469. What are you trying to do? Are you going to rebel? I recognize you. Devil race, blood race, Buddha race. One of the celestial clan members shouted loudly. His eyes were cold as he threatened everyone. Humph, even at a time like this, you're still threatening us? Simply laughable. If we don't kill you, you'll kill us. Dark Knight Rose said. That's right. As long as we kill them all, who will know that we did it? Lu Ming continued. You two brats, you're courting death. The eyes of the Divine Master Realm Heavenly Human widened as he stared at Lu Ming and Dark Knight Rose. He wanted nothing more than to eat them alive. However, his heart was trembling. He was a first-tier Divine Master. However, there were a total of 10 first-layer Divine Masters surrounding him. Even though he was confident that the fighting strength of the celestial race far surpassed those of the same level, there was still a second-layer Divine Master among them. He would definitely be no match for them and would be killed. Originally, he wanted to threaten these people. Most of these people were from races under the rule of the Heavenly Palace. Threatening them might work. After all, the Heavenly Human tribe had accumulated too much power. Originally, he had already seen fear in some people's eyes. However, because of Dark Knight Rose and Lu Ming's words, The fear in their eyes disappeared and was replaced by cold killing intent. Damn it! He really wanted to skin Lu Ming and Dark Knight Rose alive. Everyone, what are you still standing there for? Hurry up and attack. Once the heavenly human race's reinforcements arrive, the ones who won't be able to escape will be us. Lu Ming shouted. Little bastard, shut up. The heavenly human clan's divine master roared. Kill! Lu Ming shouted and punched out. A fist energy rushed towards the celestial race expert. Pull one hair and the whole body will be affected. As soon as Lu Ming made his move, the others immediately followed suit. Kill! Wave after wave of attacks rained down on the heavenly human tribe members. There were so many experts, including 10 divine lords and 3 second-level divine lords. These heavenly humans simply couldn't withstand them. They roared, they threatened, they despaired, and they were killed. After a single wave of attacks, the dozen or so heavenly humans were all killed. Then, they burned the corpses of the dozen or so celestial race cultivators and quickly left this place. Awesome! Yeah, it's so fucking satisfying. Killing the heavenly humans is so satisfying. That's right. These heavenly humans are usually high and mighty. It's as if other than the heavenly humans, all the other races in the universe are ants. It's really annoying to look at them. This time if I have the chance, I'll kill a few more. Some people discussed in secret, their eyes filled with excitement. These people had been oppressed by the heavenly human tribe for too long. Now that they had killed more than a dozen heavenly human tribe members, they immediately felt refreshed. They continued forward. In the following day, they didn't encounter anyone from the heavenly human tribe. Gradually, the crowd became bolder. The distance between them gradually widened and widened. After all, they belonged to more than 10 different factions. Although they had cooperated, they all had their own thoughts. Once they encountered any fortuitous encounter, they could take it for themselves and not share it with others. In the end, they're still a sheet of loose sand. If they really encounter a third-level divine master from the heavenly human tribe, they probably won't be able to withstand a single blow. Lu Ming shook his head inwardly. Third-level divine masters were much stronger than second-level divine masters. With the strength of so many people, if they worked together, they might even be able to contend against a third-level divine master. However, looking at the situation, it would be difficult for them to work together if they really encountered danger. Suddenly, 2 screams came from the right side. However, after these 2 screams, they immediately fell silent. The expressions of the others changed. Were they attacked by the heavenly human tribe again? Let's go and take a look. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Autumn Moon, Wan Shen, Dark Knight Rose, and the others quickly rushed in the direction of the screams. When they arrived, they saw 2 corpses. One was a young man, and the other was an old man. At this moment, there were already some people surrounding them. These people's expressions were somewhat ugly. This was because the old man was a first-level divine master. What's going on? Don't you see the heavenly human tribe? Someone asked among the people who arrived later. No. When we arrived, we saw that they were already killed. However, we didn't see anyone else. He was also a divine master. I don't see anyone else. Could it be that the celestial race immediately retreated after they succeeded in killing the celestial race? Are they hiding in the dark, waiting for an opportunity to attack? Someone said, his expression becoming serious. Many people involuntarily scanned their surroundings. They were incomparably vigilant, fearing that the celestial tribe's experts would suddenly attack. Has the Yuan Road's life spirit Yuan stone fragment disappeared? Dark Knight Rose asked. Yuan Lu was the young man who had been killed. That's right, his primordial stone fragment has indeed disappeared. A divine master old man replied. Let me take a look at his wound, Dark Knight Rose said. There's no need to look anymore. We've already examined them. It was indeed done by the celestial race. There's heavenly power left in their wounds, the old man from before said. However, Dark Knight Rose didn't pay attention to him. She walked over and checked carefully. Then, Dark Knight Rose retreated expressionlessly. She came to Lu Ming's side and said, Lu Ming, why don't you go and have a look too? Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Dark Knight Rose also asked him to have a look. Could it be that she had discovered something? Lu Ming also walked over. He used his spiritual senses to check the wounds of the 2 men. Suddenly, Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. However, the expression on his face did not change at all. He also retreated without saying a word. It seems that the celestial race is really hiding in the dark. We have to be careful later. Someone said. We were too scattered and too far away from each other before. That's why the celestial race had an opportunity to take advantage of us. Later they'll be closer. That's right. Everyone chimed in one after another. Lu Ming, let's stay closer to each other. What do you think? Dark Knight Rose transmitted her voice to Lu Ming. Of course. Lu Ming replied. After a while, they continued to set off. However, they did not dare to be too far apart from each other. Instead, they gathered together and continued to move forward. In particular, Lu Ming and Dark Knight Rose's groups were even closer to each other. For the next half a day, there was no movement at all. The celestial race did not continue to attack. Everyone's hearts relaxed a little. It seemed that as long as they gathered together, the celestial race would not dare to attack. They were afraid of their strength. However, Lu Ming, Dark Knight Rose, and the others did not think much of it. They could kill a first-layer Divine Master with a single blow and disappear without a trace before the others arrived. Would they be afraid of them? You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.